came over and he punched me. It was a mugging, a back alley mugging.
A boys' basketball game turns ugly.
He said, "I'm sorry, I had to make that call." I clearly say, "Man, you didn't have to make that call." I was angry, I was frustrated, so
you punched him?
Versus Schwartz. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Ms. Baird, your car was parked in your driveway?
No, in front of my house.
And you were awakened by a crash?
Yes. The way I see this whole thing...
No, just pay attention to what I say. You were awakened by a crash, you looked outside, you saw that another car, a van or something, had hit your car.
A white van had crashed into my truck.
And as it turns out, that white van had been stolen.
Yes.
And that was your car?
Yes.
And that was stolen from in front of your house?
Yes, in my driveway.
In your driveway. And it had been stolen that night?
At 6 o'clock in the morning.
And this crash occurred at what time?
6 o'clock in the morning, so it had to have been stolen before then.
So within a relatively brief period
10
of time?
minutes.
10 minutes. And your car was severely damaged? You had insurance that paid for the damage with the exception of your deductible, which is $1,000. And you believe that the defendant, whose car had been stolen from his driveway, is responsible for paying your $1,000 deductible?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay, that's what this case is about. Now, you got it?
I got it.
Good. Now, you want to tell me why?
Mr. Schwartz, a total stranger to me, left his keys in his van and went to bed at night. This is an irresponsible act. I would never leave my keys in my car and go to bed at night. Mr. Schwartz and I also have the same insurance company, and attached to my insurance policy there's a little letter that says, in order to avoid loss or theft, here are some tips, things you can do to prevent that. And one of the things is do not leave your keys in your car. I believe his negligence caused me, a total stranger, to be out $1,000. And I brought my witness because she helped Mr. Schwartz search the neighborhood for his keys. He had thought that they took the keys when they left the van. They couldn't drive away because the van was still attached to my truck.
Just a second. When the police came to the scene, were their keys recovered from the van?
No.
Okay. When the van hit your car, did the thieves get out of the van?
My neighbor, Kathy, saw the whole thing, and she can explain what she saw.
Kathy, what's your last name?
McNamee.
Did you actually see the van hit the car?
Yes.
And what did you see next?
Well, I was in my home, and it was the morning of February the 18th, and it was approximately 6:10 in the morning. I was looking out the window and saw a van coming slowly up the street. Shortly after that, it had hit Marsh's truck, and immediately after it hit the truck, both the passenger and the driver's door opened up, and the criminals bailed out and took off running. And at that time, I called the police, and shortly after there, they arrived on the scene.
Now, Ms. Baird said something about you searching with the defendant for keys?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
When Mr. Schwartz arrived on the scene, he was concerned. He had said to me that there were house keys on the keychain, and I had told him that I had seen the criminals bail out of the van and run, and I could walk off, as far as I could see the path that they ran, and I walked off with him and looked for the keys, but we were unsuccessful in finding them.
Okay. Now I'll hear you. You parked your car when?
The evening before I got home, and...
At what time, Mr. Schwartz?
7 or 8. My daughter, who's 18 months old, was getting ill at the time in the back seat. So I ran around the vehicle to get her out because she was vomiting, and ran her into the house. And I'm not sure if I left them in the ignition or when I unbuckled her from the seat because she was in a child seat. And then after taking care of her, I forgot to go back out and get the keys because it wasn't on my mind. Then the next thing I know, I got a call at 6:15 that my vehicle had been in an accident.
How did you get into the house without your keys?
Garage door.
Okay.
Your Honor, there's something he
just
said.
A minute, just wait a second. He's not finished yet. Don't interrupt. Go ahead.
Okay, and the police came to my house and they said my vehicle was in an accident. I immediately got dressed, went to the accident scene, met them. I did search for my keys there. I know she's a victim, but I think there's 2 victims here. I did not ask these people to steal my vehicle. If someone wants to steal something, they're going to get it no matter what. I too lost big time in this because they totaled my van. The insurance company didn't pay for it because they said I did not give them permission to drive the van, whatever that meant. And that's why they didn't pay her deductible. And I got a whopping $25 for the van after it was released from the impound. And I have pictures that it was a nice vehicle.
Your Honor, there's something he said that isn't the same as what he told me when he came down to look at the vehicles. He told me that he left his keys in the van because he lives on the top of a hill, you know, and not next to a bunch of houses or right on the street, and that he thought that nobody would come up the drive. So it isn't like, I never heard about a vomiting daughter. It was more like, oh, I do this. This isn't the first time I've done this. I do it because I sit on the top of a hill and I don't think anybody will come up.
Ms. Baird, when I read your papers, I was trying to think of an analogy for you. While it's always smarter to take your keys out of your car and lock your car, I mean, that's a smart thing to do. There are some people who leave their doors open in their car because they would prefer that if somebody wanted to get into their car, they not break a window. They just are able to open the door. I mean, I've heard that rationale, especially people who have convertibles. They say, they want to get into my car to steal something that's in the car. I would rather have them not slash the convertible top. I'd rather them just be able to open the door.
But that
It's usually smarter, however, smarter, not the law, to take your keys from your vehicle, right?
His rationale was not what you just said, though. I understand that rationale of people saying, I don't want him to break in, so...
Just a second. No, I'm getting someplace with you. Let us say you live in an area where you don't lock your house. And most people, when they go to bed, go in, lock the door because they want to be protected as best they can when they're in the house. But there are some people who live in either a rural area or live in an area that's relatively crime-free that say, I'm going to leave my front door open. Let's say a burglar comes into your house, takes a bunch of things, and among the things that the burglar takes is a large kitchen knife. And as they're coming out, one of the neighbors comes across and says, what are you doing? And they take the kitchen knife and they stab them. Are you responsible because you left your door open? Are you responsible because you left your door open? But for the fact that you left your door open, this burglar would not have gone into your house, taken the kitchen knife, and had a vehicle, a weapon to cause you injury.
I'm not sure that's a fair analogy because you're talking about personal injury versus monetary damage to a vehicle.
Oh, no, you're talking about the same theory. You're talking about somebody that hasn't done anything illegal. If he had done something illegal, that would be a different story.
It's illegal.
He did something that was perhaps imprudent, the same kind of imprudence that one would think you would be guilty of if you leave your house open. But do you think that the victim of that stabbing could turn around and sue the homeowner? But for the homeowner's action and leaving his door open, which is really your theory, but for Mr. Schwartz's action in leaving his keys in the car, the thieves might not have taken his car, because certainly if they're car thieves, they know how to hotwire a car. If that's his car they wanted, and if it was a deserted area, they might have hotwired his car. But for the fact that the front door is open, burglar wouldn't have gone inside? Probably not. Would have picked a lock. But your theory is, but for his negligent action, the thieves would not have had the vehicle to cause you property injury. But the law says that there is an intervening act, Ms. Baird.
I personally would never leave my keys in my car and go to bed at night, nor would I leave my door open when I went to bed at night.
Absolutely right. But the theory of your case is, but for his actions, the property injury would not have happened. But the intervening criminal act over which he has no control, I believe, negates any possibility for you to recover your $1,000 deductible.
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
We do not know that these criminals were professional car thieves that know how to hotwire a car. They never arrested these people. They couldn't get good fingerprints. We don't know who they were.
Absolutely
It could have been kids who have no knowledge of how to hotwire a car.
You're absolutely right.
And were looking for a car with keys in it and found one. And that's the only reason they were able to take that car and come down and crash into my truck and cause me, a total stranger, to be out $1,000, which I cannot afford. I'm behind on my car payments because I can't afford that $1,000.
I understand that. But that does not mean that both of you are not victims of a crime. He may have exposed himself by allowing his keys to be in the car, but I might add that his keys were not found in the ignition, and it really is very odd to me, quite frankly, that once this crash took place, that the people who took the car stopped even a second to turn off the engine, pull out the keys before they ran out. I mean, that just doesn't make sense to me. There were certainly no keys found in the ignition. So what I'm telling you, Ms. Baird, is that's why they have funds for victims of crime. You were a crime victim. He was a crime victim. It wasn't smart that he left his keys in the car, but we honestly don't even know whether the fact that he left the keys in the car aided and abetted these car thieves.
Is there another avenue for a victim to go through to recover from their loss?
Well, there are crime victims' compensation boards to compensate monetarily victims of crime who've suffered a financial loss. Might you use that as a way of getting back your $1,000? Absolutely. But I just want to take a quick look at the pictures of the cars before I send you on your way.
Okay, I don't have pictures.
They totaled your van?
Yes.
It looks perfectly fine to me. Okay, the Crime Victims Compensation Board is a possibility, Miss Baird. Mr. Schwartz is not. That's all. Case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It's how I thought it would come out.
I'm totally surprised. I thought she would rule in my favor.
I was the victim, too.
He committed an act. He deserves what he gets. I did nothing.
And now the next case.
All parties on Woodall versus Rogers. Step forward, please.
20-year-old student service advisor Kayla Woodall is suing her former roommate, Sarah Rogers, for her share of an apartment lease and utility bills.
You two young ladies were friends, and you decided it was time to leave your parents' home and strike out on your own, so you rented an apartment together.
Yes.
How old are you?
20.
And you?
20.
How long had you been friends?
4 years, give or take.
And when did you move in?
July 5th, 2000.
Okay. And was it a year lease?
Yes.
And then there was trouble in paradise.
Yes.
Things didn't work out. Miss Rogers moved out.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Kayla Woodall says former roommate Sarah Rogers owes for half an apartment lease. Sarah says she's already forfeited her share of the security deposit.
Okay. The thrust of your lawsuit is you want her to be responsible for the remainder of the lease after she moved out.
Correct.
When did she move out?
January 15th.
All right. So tell me under what circumstances she moved out.
Her and I had discussed a lot of times in the 6-month period about her paying rent and bills late and me having to track her down and find her when the due dates came about. So there'd been maybe 2 or 3 discussions about one of us needing to either move out or get on the ball with what was going on. We didn't really ever set a date or a time or a place on when this was going to happen. There was a lot of delaying, and I came home from work one day, and she had moved all of her belongings out of the house.
Well, what happened in the couple of days before that?
She said that her and her witness actually were looking for a place to live, and that, you know, hopefully something would be going through with it soon.
Okay, what did you say to her?
I said, you know, well, if that's what you're going to do, that's fine. You know, you do have a lease here, but it doesn't seem like you're really paying the bills like you should be, and if you're not going to be able to pay them, you're not going to do me much use. It's like dead weight. So I either need you to pay them or...
Move.
Right.
So that's what you did?
That's what she did.
Go ahead.
Well, I did move out on January 13th after we had made a mutual agreement that I would move out.
Tell me about that agreement.
We agreed that I would move out on the 15th because we were not getting along. I was paying my bills. They were not on time most of the time, but they were paid. Basically, the agreement was that I was going to be moving out on the 15th. I moved out 2 days before. I paid the whole month's rent for the month of January.
Did you both put down security deposit on the apartment?
Yes.
How much?
Mine was, I think, $450.
Did you get that back?
No.
Okay,
I have forfeited my security deposit in order to be gone from the apartment.
What do you mean you forfeited it? Who did you forfeit it with? Her or the landlord?
The property management.
Did you sign off on with the property manager?
I wrote them a letter when I moved out saying that they could keep my security and I was not going to be living at the address anymore.
Well, they don't get to keep your security. The security, if the apartment's in good condition, is going to go back to the people who leased the apartment. In that case, you will get her portion of the security deposit back.
It was $400 deposit $200 from each of us.
So you didn't put down $450, you put down $200?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay. Did your boyfriend move into the apartment?
He is kind of living there. We are not really trying to live together.
Miss Woodall.
I haven't had many options of people to move in with me.
Miss Woodall?
Yes.
When did your boyfriend bring his toothbrush after the 15th of January?
About a half a month ago, he's moved in, but has not taken full financial responsibility.
That's your problem.
That may be.
Good. So what are we doing here? I believe that there was an agreement that she move out, because even according to you, Miss Woodall, you said, look, one of us has to move. She said she'll move out. Clearly, there was an agreement that she moved out.
It wasn't really that simple. In order for us to get this apartment, the one-year lease, one of our parents had to co-sign. My father opted to do so. So it was only natural for her to move out versus me. This was not something I wanted. I did not want her to move out.
Fine, so it was natural for her to move out if you weren't getting along rather than you, because your father was the guarantor on the lease.
Right.
Well, why don't you have your father have a little discussion with your boyfriend?
Well, because it's not his responsibility.
No, it's yours. It's yours.
You're right.
If you moved in a boyfriend who's not paying his fair share, instead of looking for another roommate who might pay their fair share, that's not her fault.
I didn't say I moved him in. He has stayed even when she was living there. You know, he sleeps.
You just
over
told me he moved in. You just told me 2 seconds ago, Miss Woodall, that he moved in, but he did.
Duration of the time since she's moved out.
You just told me he moved in, but he hasn't taken on the financial responsibility. Those were your exact words.
Right.
That's not her fault. That's your fault.
I'm not trying to blame her for that.
So?
I'm looking for compensation. She's left me in a financial hardship.
I understand your financial hardship. Your financial hardship would be ameliorated if you found yourself a roommate who would pay half of the rent. She's not going to pay half the rent. Forget that. What other bills does she owe you?
I have PG&E and SMUD here.
How much do all those bills total?
$280. It may be $230. I'm doing the math in my head.
Just about the same amount as her security deposit.
Yes, it's close to.
Perfect. So make sure you and your boyfriend keep the apartment in good shape so that when you move out, you're going to keep the security deposit, her half.
Okay.
Perfect. Case is over. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She judged and what she says goes, so hey.
I think what the judge said, her ruling on just leaving the $250 security deposit is fine with me.
I've had to borrow from my credit card to pay the rent.
I don't have to deal with this kind of stuff in my life, drama.
I've had my PG&E turned off because she's...
Company?
Yes, I am now.
Okay. Yeah, this is case number 560 on the calendar in the matter of Selb versus Selb. Stampter. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Sir, have a seat, please.
Miss Selb,
Yes.
you were married to the defendant's father, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
For 7 years.
Almost 7 years. Yes, ma'am.
He died.
Yes, ma'am.
It is your claim that the defendants agreed to reimburse you for the costs of cremating your husband.
Yes, ma'am.
They say that there was never such an agreement. When did your husband pass away?
I cannot hear you.
When did your husband pass away?
He passed away of October 6th last year.
Was his passing away sudden?
No, ma'am.
He had been ill for a period of time?
Only my son was there.
Okay, let's try it on this side. Was your father ill for a long time?
I would say yes.
What do you mean you would say yes?
He had open heart surgery in 1994, and among many other illnesses, and I don't think he ever recuperated, if that's
from
what you
his
mean.
open heart surgery.
Right.
Were you notified as soon as he passed away?
He passed away at 2 o'clock in the morning, and Natalie called me the next, early, about 8:30 the next morning.
Was he home or was he in the hospital?
He was in the hospital.
How long had he been in the hospital?
It was 2 days prior.
To his passing.
She called you 2 days before. Did you go to see him?
No.
She told us not to.
She told us not to bother coming up there.
She has no right to do that. And if she did, I would assume that you would just disregard that and go and see your father anyway.
She requested us that we did not come up there.
Then you disregard that request and you go see your father.
She said that he was not, there was no plans for actually that he was going to survive the evening.
Even more reason for you to get there. Did you see your father regularly?
A few times a year.
And you?
Natalie made it very difficult for us to see our father. She called me in 1998 and told me that I was never welcome in her home again. So my visits with my father had to be over the phone. I was not welcome in her home.
All right, Miss Selb, would you tell me the conversation that you allegedly had with these children about their reimbursing you for the cost of your husband's cremation?
On October 21st, they came over to pick up some of my husband's heirlooms. They also want to have the ashes. I told Tina that I have paid $1,200 for it, and she said she will reimburse the money. All I have to do is just send the bill.
I never said that.
I have sent the bill with a letter. I didn't hear anything from her.
Just a minute. At that time, did you give her the ashes?
Yes, they took the ashes when they left.
Was there any funeral service for your husband?
No, there was just at the park, you know, people have got together and had dinner and stuff like that. And I have asked them, but they didn't want to come.
But they came to the house to pick up some property, is that right?
Yes.
That's correct.
And you picked up your father's ashes.
Yes.
Tell me under what circumstances this lady gave you the ashes.
We went up to get my dad's war mementos and our family photo albums, all that was left of that my father had, and there was never a discussion about taking the ashes home. I mean, that wasn't why we went up there.
Okay.
She presented a carton as we were leaving of his ashes, and we were both very surprised by that. There was never a discussion about reimbursing for ashes or giving her money for the cremation, and then we can exchange, you know, pay this ransom for my father's ashes, and we could leave with it. Never a discussion about that. The ashes were there. She presented it to us along with a copy of what appears to be his will, and we left. That was that.
Miss Selb, why did you give them your husband's ashes?
Why did I do what?
Why did you give them your husband's ashes?
Because Doug asked for it.
Because they asked for it?
Yes.
And you had no problem with that?
Well, I mean, I didn't want to divide it, ma'am. You know, so I said, okay, you go ahead and take it. Because Tina told me that she's going to reverse the money.
Well, when you decided to have him cremated, you didn't speak to her with regard to the costs. Is that right?
She told me also that whatever I do is okay with her, and she also talked to my son.
That's not true.
At the hospital.
That's absolutely not true.
At the where?
At the hospital. When my husband was in the hospital, she called. My son was in the hospital when she called when my husband was sick.
Step up. Tell me. Not proper court attire.
Sorry.
So you should have something important to say. I assume you do.
Basically, I was there when he went into the hospital and when he died.
And when did you have a conversation with Tina?
I had conversations with them each of them at least twice.
Go ahead, let me hear about the conversation.
You know, they were asking what was going on with their father and, you know, what do the doctors think? And I said they don't really know. They pretty much think he's going to die or they're not going to do much about it. And then they told me that they weren't able to get up there. So we went in the next morning and made arrangements to have him cremated. They left it in the hands of my mother to take care of.
Were there any death benefits under Social Security?
I believe the $225 that they give for when somebody dies, Social Security, that was about it. And then
$225 for burial costs?
yeah, that's what the Social Security system will pay.
Okay, well, that's $225.
Correct.
Even that, your lawsuit is $1,200, which is the entire cost of cremation, right?
Yes.
Is there a will?
Your Honor, my father had an estate when he married Natalie. And I have here a record of every single thing that my father had and things that show, as far as I'm concerned, that he had an estate that more than paid for funeral expenses.
Plus his wishes to be buried
He wanted
whole.
to be buried whole next to my mother, who died in 1983. He already had a plot. He already had his wishes known. She knew them. She and I discussed this. When he died, she knew that we did not want him cremated and that he didn't want to be cremated.
How long was he married to your mother?
37 years.
When did she pass away?
In 1983. I hired Natalie To be his housekeeper.
I think an important point.
Go ahead.
I think an important point is that when my father was ill, we hired Natalie. My sister actually hired Natalie to take care of him. And in a 6-week period, they were married, and she produced a license with his name on it. And
Her license.
with her name on it, and my father's name. And at that point, a bank that had all his funds and monies called us up, my sister, which was the power of attorney at the time, and said, there's something funny going on. This woman is here, and she's liquidating
Closing all of his accounts.
Closing all of his accounts, getting all the funds out of his accounts. At that point, we contacted my father, and that's when he said, well, we just happened to get married.
Okay. Miss Selb, after you married Mr. Selb,
Yes.
were you working anyplace else?
Before I started working for him?
For the last 7 years, since you were married to their father, you didn't work at all outside the home?
That was a full-time job with Mr. Selb.
Fine. So you didn't work at all outside the home?
No, ma'am.
Is that right? How were you supported?
We lived on his retirement and my Social Security.
How much was your Social Security?
My Social Security, $472.
And how much was his pension?
His pension was $1,200, something like that.
And how much was his Social Security?
5 something.
So you had Social Security of $400, and he had about $1,700 a month. Is that right?
Right, ma'am.
Okay. And he had savings as well. Is that right?
Yes.
Of course. Where are his savings?
The savings?
Yeah.
We spent most of it.
Do you have any left?
We have traveled quite a bit, ma'am.
Oh, just a minute. Do you have any left of his savings?
Yeah, I have $2,000.
Good. That pays for the funeral. Thank you very much. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
The only thing I can say that I took care of their father for 7 years.
My sister went there a couple of weeks afterwards, and she found the mail actually had been sorted through and gone through, his financial statements gone through.
They wouldn't even answer the letters I have sent it to them.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Langlois, step forward.
51-year-old office manager Vicki Langlois is suing her ex-husband, 36-year-old operations manager Jim Langlois, for medical expenses for the family dog.
Miss Langlois, you and the defendant were married for 13 years. You were divorced officially, I believe, according to what I've read, in 1999.
Correct.
There was a dog.
Jim's dog.
Well, you say it was Jim's dog. There was a dog that lived in your house for a long time. The dog remained in your home. The dog became ill. You took the dog to the vet.
Correct.
There was substantial expenses for the dog in the amount of $1,817. The dog was ultimately put to sleep, and you want the defendant to pay those veterinarian bills.
Correct.
Okay, so I will hear you on why you think he is responsible for those bills.
When he left in March of '99, he moved into a studio apartment where there was no pets allowed. I was left with the dog to care for it. Then, March of 2000, the dog became ill. I talked to Jim, and I explained to him everything that happened. He didn't disagree with how I handled it. I told him I would not be able to pay the bills, and he said that was okay, and he'd take care of it. So I had brought the dog home with the understanding that I would have to give the dog intravenous feedings twice a day, which I did until April 25th, when he suddenly turned worse. I called Jim. I told him he wanted to see the dog. I brought the dog to him, and he returned the dog to me, and the next day the dog even got worse. I called the vet. She said there's nothing more we can do for him.
How old was the dog?
12 years. And
how old is your son?
12.
So that the dog had been your son's companion as well.
Yeah. His best friend.
Okay, go ahead.
And so Thursday night, the 27th, I believe it was, I called Jim at work. When I tried to discuss what was going on with the dog, he just wanted to talk about the divorce and all the other property issues that were going on. And he got abusive, and he wasn't even listening to me. I was telling him that Saturday morning was the appointment, And he got abusive and was swearing at me, and I hung up the phone. On Saturday morning, my daughter Kendra took me and our 12-year-old son to the vet, and we sat there with him while the dog was put down. Later, I talked to Jim about the money, and he said we would have to discuss it at the divorce hearing in June. When we got to the divorce hearing, his attorney asked that the two attorneys could talk outside of the courtroom and discuss some of the issues.
The outstanding financial issues.
Right, and the dog was one of them. My attorney said that Jim was denying it was his dog and that I shouldn't waste $250 an hour. I should take it to of his time. I should take it to small claims court, and that's what I did.
It is clear to me, Mrs. Langlos, that your 12-year-old son would have been devastated had his father left the house and, in addition to leaving the house, taken his dog. According to you, the dog was his best friend.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't that you were dog sitting for the defendant's dog. You kept the dog because it was the family dog. Whoever purchased it, paid for it. I have a dog. When she's a very, very good dog, my husband says it's his dog. When it poops in the house, it's my dog. The issue of whose dog it is not relevant to this. Your former wife claims that you indicated to her that you would, at one point, take care of the veterinary bills. Let us assume for the moment that you did say to her, I'll take care of it, whatever the bills are. And I don't even have to make a judgment on that. There did come a time that you went to the Supreme Court to resolve all issues of money involving your marriage. According to you, Ms. Langlos, the issue of the dog's bills was raised by the attorneys in that proceeding.
Outside of the judge. Right.
Doesn't make any difference.
Correct.
It was part of the negotiation. You did the right thing by keeping the dog and taking care of the dog. Your problem, Mrs. Langlos, is this. There must be finality when parties divorce. And that is usually as of the day that a final judgment of divorce is rendered. Everybody is there, and they throw all the marbles on the table, and they say, listen, this is what we got. This is what our bills are. This is what our expenses are. This is what our assets are. We're going to divide them. We're going to divide them in an equitable fashion, and that's what you pay a lawyer for. That was clearly done. So all of that was before the court, or should have been before the court. Now, you understand that, Mrs. Langlos. I know that from the way you're shaking your head, you understand that. Because ultimately, each of you has to know, this is the date that my financial obligations are fixed, both for child support, for maintenance, for alimony, for outstanding credit cards, for outstanding bank loans. You can't keep this thing going forever. It's not healthy.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
According to you, and I'm just taking what you tell me, your attorney did in fact raise the issue at that time. You were given bad advice by your attorney. If your attorney did indeed say to you, deal with it later, that's very bad advice, because your marriage terminated and these bills were incurred prior to the stipulation and settlement and the judgment of divorce. Unless your former husband believes that you should voluntarily contribute to the dog's vet bills, he is under no legal obligation to do so. Just for my own sake, you want to tell me, Mr. Langlos, how much you pay in child support for your son?
I believe it's $961 a month.
Do you pay maintenance to your former wife, in addition to the child support?
Yes.
And how much do you pay in maintenance?
1,000 something.
It's a little over 1,000, 1,027.
Are you currently current in your child support and maintenance?
Yes, my child support and spousal support comes directly out of my work check.
Do you see your son? Visit him?
Not now, I don't.
Why not?
We have issues that we're working out through court right now.
So there are ongoing issues of visitation?
Mm-hmm.
So you're still paying lawyers?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yes.
I am. She's not. She doesn't have a lawyer at this time. I do.
Well, that's unfortunate.
No, that's not true. I do have a lawyer.
Yeah. Okay. Whether you have
But
a lawyer,
yes, we
I
are.
have his letter that says
whether you
he's-
have a lawyer or not, it's really unfortunate that you can't put a period and start having some sort of normalcy to your lives. That's really very unfortunate.
Fair.
In any event, Ms. Langlos, all financial issues were resolved in your case in June of 2000, so your Lawsuit is dismissed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I think it's sad that he doesn't accept responsibility for a dog he left behind.
I think the person that suffered the most out of this would have been our son, JR.
His son loved the dog and was devastated by this illness and the death of the dog, and he didn't participate emotionally, physically, or financially.
I did see the dog. I did not know when the dog was put to sleep. I found that out after from my stepson.
Obviously, the judge felt that I had been given bad advice with going to small claims court, and I'll accept that. I respect her.
Your Honor, this is case number 4 on the calendar in the matter of Banks Privet versus Privet. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
You are Miss Banks?
Yes, I am.
Miss Banks, the defendant is your sister-in-law.
Correct.
There came a time recently when your brother had a stroke. His wife initially brought him home from the hospital, but then put him in a nursing home. Couldn't handle him. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
You went to visit with your brother and decided to bring him to your home.
Yes, I brought him to my home.
When was that?
7/21/99.
And you've been caring for him ever since?
Yes.
You were also, according to your complaint, given a power of attorney over his finances.
Right.
May I see those papers, please? Now, I see that your brother signed his name with an X.
Yes.
And it was done in the hospital before you took him to your house.
Right.
Okay. Your complaint alleges that the defendant, who is your brother's wife, used credit cards of his fraudulently, and you are suing to get that money back.
Yes.
So that's what it's about. Miss Privet, how long have you been married to Mr. Privet?
15 years.
Do you have children together?
A little girl.
How old is your daughter?
2.
Does your husband have any property?
We both own the car together.
Does he have any bank accounts?
Yes, but it's been changed over.
To her name?
Mm-hmm.
How much were in his bank accounts?
Wasn't anything. She took it out before she put him in the nursing home.
So your brother came to you with no money?
No money, no nothing. She had put him in the nursing home and left him there permanent and moved her man in with her.
Okay. Miss Banks, it's really important that you think very carefully as to whether or not your brother had any property.
My brother had a home he had just bought. Then he had a stroke. Then she couldn't take care of him no more. She put him in the nursing home. Then she moved the man in. Then she went to the bank and got the money out of the bank. Yeah.
You're not answering my question.
He didn't have
My
anything
question
because she
is-
had took it all.
Who is supporting your brother now?
My brother gets Social Security for him and the baby. She get the Social Security for the baby.
And is his only source of income Social Security?
Social Security. It's supposed to be my brother's baby, but the baby calling him daddy. What kind of mess is that?
Listen to me. Shh. He had no bank accounts.
He had a bank account. She went and got the money out of the bank
How much
account
was in that bank?
after she put him in the nursing home.
How much was in the bank?
I don't know, because I told her to do it. That's why I know she did it. I told her, Jan, you go to the bank, get all the money out that you had in there. I said, because the nursing home is going to take the money.
Right.
And she did exactly what I was telling her to do. But I didn't know she had put that boy in there permanently.
Your Honor.
Yes.
She did tell me to go to the bank and get the money, but that was my own account, not Roosevelt.
Okay, how much was in that account?
I say about $300.
Okay. Now, when did you make charges on any of these credit cards?
I made him 2 weeks after he went into the nursing home, and I went to see him. And I told him I needed some things for the house and stuff and some clothes for the baby. And he gave me authorized to use the card, and that's what I did. Okay, I
How
was
much
paying
did you spend?
$1,000 and something.
Now, how long have you been collecting Social Security for your daughter?
Ever since she was born.
How much do you get a month?
$180.
$180 a month in total.
$185.
85. I'm sorry.
Who are you?
Not him.
I'm her power of attorney and also her public accountant.
You're what?
I'm her witness in the case. I'm also her power of attorney and public accountant. ma'am.
You have power of attorney. Step up here. This is going to be good. No, not up here, up there. You're whose power of attorney?
Janice Privet.
Why does she need a power of attorney? Is she incompetent?
No, she has a reading disorder and she can't read or write.
Well, then
Other
she
than
doesn't
just
need
to
a
sign her
power,
name.
somebody with a power of attorney, so she needs somebody who can read and write for her.
Right, and representing also as far as filling out checks, money orders, anything deal with finances.
Well, what is your relationship to her?
I'm a friend of hers.
Do you live there?
On the 3rd floor, yes, I rent the 3rd floor.
So you live there in her house?
Yes.
Good. Now sit down. Let me see the bills for the credit cards, please. You have only one child, madam?
Yes.
Are you employed?
Yeah, I work at Johns Hopkins University.
What do you do there?
Housekeeping.
What's your income?
Well, my growth is $345.
$345 a week?
Mm-hmm.
It's roughly $19,500.
Just a second.
I don't believe this man.
Just I think I want him to go.
Okay, sir, step up, please.
I told you.
He thinks he's at a tea party.
Mm-hmm.
Back up to you, right?
Who paid these credit card bills in June?
I was paying the card.
I see that they were paid.
I was paying it off, but she had his mail changed. So by she having his mail changed, I couldn't pay the bill because I didn't have
But you had been paying the bills.
Yes, I have.
Why did you have his mail changed?
They sent them to my house, and I called her up personally and asked her about it, and she said he made the bills, he paid.
You made these charges, right?
Yes.
Well, then you have to pay them. Madam, right now he collects Social Security because he's totally disabled.
That's right.
So you have to take care of all your own bills. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right.
Your Honor, could I ask you one question?
Sure.
What happened to a marriage is honorable? Could you tell me what happened to that?
Not only can I tell you what happened to that, but I don't think you should preoccupy yourself with that. Your brother is very sick.
Yes.
You take care of him. Is he aware of his surroundings?
Yes.
Does he see his daughter?
She started and she stopped. That man told her. That man came around my house one night and got her and told her she better not come back no more. And she ain't been back no more.
Does your brother miss seeing his daughter?
Yes.
Then I would suggest that you follow through on that. You can, in fact,
Oh,
follow through on that by going into your local family court and fixing an order of visitation for her to bring the child to visit with him on a regular basis.
I have.
You have to do that.
I'm not stopping her from seeing her father.
Well, she's 2 years old. She can't take a cab there herself.
She don't know her father. She called that man for daddy. She do.
So what?
I don't know why
She was, for a while, bringing the child to visit your brother.
That's been over 6-7 months ago.
She stopped, you told me. What I'm telling her is she should begin to do that. Even without an order. Your daughter needs you to bring her there. Madam.
Yes.
Looked over the bills, judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,300. That's
Thank
all.
you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
If she would have just came and talked to me, you know, we could have settled this, but she didn't want my brother. She just didn't want him anymore. She wanted what she had, so she got what she got.
I don't have nothing to say.
I think justice was beautiful.
And now the next case.
All parties on Holt versus Greska. Step forward, please.
50-year-old homemaker Antoinette Holt is suing her son's girlfriend, 25-year-old office manager Angela Gruska, for unpaid babysitting fees.
According to what I've read in your complaint, the defendant is your son's girlfriend.
At the time, yes.
Are you still together?
Yes, ma'am.
And sometime last year, the defendant and her daughter, who's how old?
She's 6 now. She was 5.
Moved into your home where your son was living with his son. He has custody of his son, is that right?
Yes, he does.
And you made an arrangement with the defendant at that time to babysit for her daughter, whose name is Sydney, while she worked.
But they did not move into my home, Your Honor. They moved into a home with my son.
So
and
they
his
would
son.
bring over the 2 children.
Correct.
Both Sydney and
Stephen.
Stephen to your home to babysit.
Yes.
You say there was a financial arrangement which the defendant did not honor.
Correct.
And you want her to pay for the babysitting services that she did for you.
That I did for her. Yes, ma'am.
You did for her. So it's sort of interesting to me because from what I read, you must have enjoyed a lovely relationship with your son because you were babysitting for his son for quite some time.
Correct. They lived with me up until February of '99.
Your son and his son?
Correct.
Do you still get along with your son?
Yes, I do.
You still see your son and your grandson, Stephen?
I still continue to watch my grandson, Stephen, yes.
So first, I want you to tell me why you would bring this lawsuit against the defendant, who it seems the two have formed a family. Don't you think that that's going to bring hard feelings?
At the time that I brought the lawsuit, she was moving out of my son's residence. So rather than have her move elsewhere, and I did not know where she was going to go, I then decided to take action at that time.
You mean things have changed since you filed the lawsuit?
Not to the best of my knowledge, no, ma'am.
Are you still living together?
We live together on and off. I stay with my mother during the week when I work, and on the weekends I come stay with him. During the week...
I mean, are you still together as a couple?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
You don't think this is going to bring an estrangement? This
I wasn't aware that they were together as a couple when I started the lawsuit.
Are you aware of it now?
In that she said so, yes.
Well, why don't you tell me? You still together?
Yes.
Okay. What was your financial arrangement with the defendant as far as babysitting?
They were just moving into a home in February of '99, and since it takes a lot of extra money to move in, told them I would do them a favor. I would continue to watch my grandson at no charge, and that I would watch her daughter for a percentage of the average weekly rate of the daycare facility's charge.
So you were watching your grandson, Stephen, at no charge?
Correct.
And how long did you do this babysitting arrangement for the defendant?
Since February of '99 until Sydney went to school in the end of August of '99.
'99. Is that correct?
Probably about a month or two less than that, because the babysitter that I did find over near our residence moved in around July, and she started watching her for $50 a week for me. And Steve also was out of work for probably the first couple months we moved in. He also watched Sydney for me.
So how much do you think she owes you?
$1,761.32, Your Honor, based on 22 of the 26 weeks, allowing for some time that she did not work.
Did you make any payments for babysitting to the plaintiff?
I tried to make payments a couple of times, and Steve would go over and pick up our children, and I sent him over with money, and he said, no, listen, I'll talk to Mom about the money because we have bills we need to pay. Stuff was going to get cut off.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
So she did give you some money to bring to your mother?
No. She gave me a check and my mom voided it.
Did you tell your mother that you were strapped for money?
In the beginning, yes, my mom knew. My mom helped us out on
No,
many
is that why
occasions.
she was voiding the checks?
No.
Ma'am, this was after. This was after she wrote the letters and after she wrote the letters wanting a payment plan. In her letter, she stated she wanted a payment plan to pay her back the money.
Let me see the letters.
Your Honor, I've highlighted it in red for you. This was in response to my second letter to her.
Let me see the letters.
For money.
This is her first letter. This was my letter in response. This was her second letter. And this was my letter in response to the second letter.
Okay.
And this has my set-up payment schedule. And the canceled check also.
So she didn't void the check because she didn't want the money. She voided the check because she didn't agree with your payment plan?
Right.
I see. So the checks that you were started to give your mother were for $50. Is that right, sir?
Correct.
Which she voided because she did not accept this payment plan. And according to you, all of the time that you were babysitting from February, latter part of February 1999 until Christmas of 1999, you didn't get any payment from the defendant.
That's correct.
And you sort of let it go.
That's correct.
Because they were a couple.
That's right.
And then when you believed that they were no longer a couple, you came back and said, now I want all this money.
Correct. And I offered her payment options.
Okay. Another question, Ms. Holt. So far, you're being very honest with me. Let's say your son and the defendant got married, and everything was in good shape with them as a family, and everything was going along well, and you all were getting along. Would you have required her to pay this money back to you?
No.
I know.
Because then her daughter would have been my step-granddaughter, and I would have treated her the same as I would have treated my grandson.
Okay. But you see, you sort of lulled her into this sense of security that everything was going to be okay, and that all of a sudden you give her a bill for $1,700, which over the course of a year's period of time, when they were together, they sort of felt as if Mom is taking care of the two kids because she's a good grandmother. And you still take care of your grandson, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Who knows? Unless you have a contract in writing, you say that she said she was going to call around and get the average of the daycare rates in the area, and you were going to get 75% of the average rate. She says you had an agreement for $50 a week. Unless you have that kind of contract in writing, it's going to be very difficult for me to determine who is in fact telling the truth. The bottom line, Ms. Holt, is we wouldn't be standing here today unless you believed that these two people were no longer a couple.
I let it slide.
You let it slide, and they did not even anticipate a problem.
Yes, they did, Your Honor. I many times mentioned to them that you need to take care of this situation, that you owe me, that if I were not a family member, if I were not Stephen's mother, you would have to pay. If you have the children in child care,
when did you tell
you got to
that?
pay. Several times.
During the course of your
That's correct.
caring for the child?
That's correct.
And what did she say to you?
I'll have to talk it over with Steve. I said,
Did you
"Angie,
talk
this
it
is-"
over together?
Yes.
And? Let me hear.
We just moved into a big house. We were tight on money. You have to put all the deposits down and everything. And my mom wasn't pressed for money. So the money that would have gone to the babysitting went to other bills.
I assume that since you're living with your mother during the week, that there has been a little bit of difficulty between the two of you?
A little.
Is there a possibility that that difficulty is going to be resolved?
It's possible.
Yeah.
But not
It could go either way. It could go either way.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Clearly, you owe her some money.
Yes, ma'am.
There is a substantial discrepancy between the $600 that you sort of acknowledge that you owe her minimally, right?
Yeah.
Is it possible it's $800?
Yeah.
Ms. Holt, I'm going to do a very smart thing for you. You never know what's going to happen with your children. This relationship may be off tomorrow, but it may be on 2 weeks from now. I do, in fact, believe that you lull them into this false sense of security that if, in fact, they became a couple, all of this babysitting cost was going to be forgiven.
No, it wouldn't have.
Well, you just told me it would have. I said
No, I didn't say
if
I
she
would
became
forgive
your
it.
daughter, if she became your daughter-in-law, we wouldn't be standing here today. If your son and Angela married, which would have made Sydney his stepdaughter and you step-grandmother, it would have been foolhardy for you to maintain a family relationship to say, well, I'm not going to charge my son for babysitting, but I will charge his wife for babysitting. That doesn't make for good family
But,
relations.
Your Honor, they were not married. And
right.
Angela did not keep up a good relationship with me at all, of her own choosing. So, therefore,
that's why we're here.
She still has an issue. She had a child. I took care of the child, as she asked me to do, and I deserve to get paid for that.
Okay, I'm going to pay you.
Same as any daycare center.
I'm going to pay you. You claim she owes you $1,700. She says it could be as much as $800, right?
Yes.
Okay. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,000. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Angela and Stephen are not together. They're on and off like you and I take our shoes off every other night. And I think they disillusioned her, but I'm glad I got what I got.
She's always kind of judged me and made me feel kind of smaller. It's hard to approach her on anything.
They just kept putting me off. We don't have it, we don't have it, we don't have it. And everything and everybody was more important than me. But I was doing the most important job, and that was
Charges. Michelle and Charlie are countersuing for damages to their car.
Order. All rise. Now, this is case number 346 on the calendar in the matter of Miller versus Hastings, Washington. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
Who are you?
Brenda Hastings. I'm Michelle's mother.
How old is Michelle?
17.
Okay. Miss Miller, Michelle is your son's girlfriend.
Yes, ma'am.
This is your son.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're really suing your son and his girlfriend. Her mother is here because she's a minor.
Yes, ma'am.
It appears from what I've read that you decided to rent a house. You were
Yes,
separating from your husband or something like that.
Yes, ma'am.
And that your son and his girlfriend said that they wanted to come and live with you. You say that this didn't work out, but they owe you for back rent. They owe you for money that they put on your credit card. They have a counterclaim. And their counterclaim involves both of their cars, which they say that you took, you hid, and caused damage to.
No, ma'am.
So that's what the case is about. Very complicated. When did you decide to rent this house?
About the second week of September.
And what was the rent on the house?
$575 a month.
And what was your arrangement with your son and his girlfriend?
I had planned on moving. My husband and I were just going to separate for a little while to work out some differences. There was a duplex that I had been waiting on that was around the corner from the house. My 15-year-old son had told Charlie here that we were moving, and Charlie indicated to him that he needed a place to go. He was tired of the stuff at Brenda's house. I had talked to Charlie.
He had been living with you? Is that right? How old are you?
19.
I had talked to Charlie and told him that was fine. There was no mention of Michelle at the time. That came up later with Charlie saying that she don't really act like she acts, but she'll act better when she's not around her mother. I thought about it for a while, and I said, well, we'll give it a try.
This is a lot of information that I really don't need.
Okay. Well, I went up and asked the landlord, and the landlord said they were renting it.
Okay, fine. So you decided to rent it, and you decided to let the two of them move in with you.
Right.
And what was the financial arrangement with them?
We would go on the rent 3 ways.
Did you discuss that with her mother?
No, ma'am.
And you knew she was 17?
Her mother had put her out.
Negative.
They wanted both. They had asked several times for both of these to put them out. And my young son here, Derek,
Miss Miller,
can tell you.
That's not my question. My question was, you knew that Michelle was 17.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Michelle cannot enter into a contract with you because she's a minor. So if you did not have an agreement with her mother to pay a third of the rent, you cannot sue Michelle for a third of any rent that you believe she owes you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's do away with that. Now, so let's deal with your son. Did your son give you any money towards the rent?
No, ma'am.
Yes,
He gave
I
me
did.
$150 to help put on deposits on the utilities.
So he gave you $150?
Yes, ma'am.
How long did they live in the house?
6 weeks.
Negative.
3 weeks. 6 weeks.
We moved
And
in
when
the
did you
3rd,
move out of the house?
The 28th.
Of September?
Yes, ma'am.
Charlie did not move out of that house until the 10th of October.
I moved out the 28th.
You stayed there. You were on the run from the police.
Shh, just a second. Miss Miller.
Yes, ma'am.
What rent do you believe your son owes you?
For him and Michelle, then it should have been half of the $575.
No. Miss Miller. He's supposed to pay a third of the rent, right?
Right. But I have a 15-year-old at home that these two here complained what was his part of the rent because he was getting child support.
Did you move in with another child?
The 15-year-old moved in shortly after these two did. He didn't stay there all the time, but he was there.
What about you? Did you move in?
I didn't move in until the 24th
Of September? September?
No, August. Oh, no, it was September. I'm sorry. I didn't even stay there half of the time.
Miss
I
Miller.
stayed maybe a whole week
Miss
out of
Miller, did you move in August 24th or September 24th?
September 24th.
Okay, well, let's go to the credit cards that you say that they used. How did they come to have possession of your credit cards?
They didn't have possessions. We had an agreement. I have a letter from the landlord because Mrs. Hastings was putting them out. We had an agreement to try to get the house livable for them to live in so they had a roof over their heads. And
You're talking about credit cards, Miss Miller. Let me hear about the credit cards money.
I put my credit cards, to get the house in order for them to live in, it had to have floors, it had to have cabinets, it had to have everything. The house was gutted out. It had to have everything.
So is that what was put on your credit card?
Yes.
So why do you think they should pay for that?
Because we're in agreement. Mrs. Hastings put them out.
Negative.
Stop saying Mrs. Hastings put them out. It doesn't make any difference whether she put them out or not. Now, am I correct?
It does make a difference.
No,
Yes,
it doesn't make a difference legally.
Her mother put them out. He didn't have a place to go.
She
He
didn't
cannot
put
go
us
to
out.
my house that I own. My husband will not let him stay there. He's already ripped us off. He's breaking into the house. He's broken into the garage. He's not allowed on the property. Okay?
Miss Miller.
I did what I could to get him a roof over his head.
Miss
and I
Miller,
got
you're his
repaid.
mother. Listen to me. You're his mother.
Excuse me, ma'am. But this boy, I've got papers. This boy has been in and out of jail, detentions. He was stolen from me when he was 14 months old. I've got legal documents, Charlie, to prove it all.
Miss Miller.
He's on drugs. I've tried for years to get him help, okay?
Miss Miller, listen to me. I understand that you have a frustration with him.
If you
And
helped
from-
him out as much as I have in a lifetime, you would too.
Miss Miller, listen to me. If Miss Hastings allowed your son to come and live in her house with her 17-year-old daughter, then she's got rocks in her head. And probably decided she had had enough. Bottom line, that's your son. It's not her son. And if she had had enough of him and was putting him out, and her daughter Michelle says, I'm not staying here without him, then she says, you want to go with him? Go with him.
He's been living there with her since she was 15 and he was 17.
You want to know something?
And she's put him out 3 times.
Miss
And
Miller.
I have been there.
Miss
Charlie.
Miller. Miss Miller.
Yeah, okay.
Miss Miller.
Yes, ma'am.
This is your son. And if she's put him out 3 times, and if he was living there from the time he was 17 years old, it had to have been because you and your husband put him out.
Exactly.
No, he left
Exactly.
on his, no, you left on your own
Miss
because
Miller,
you
don't
were
talk
on
to him.
drugs, Charlie.
Miss
He was
Miller,
selling drugs
1, 2,
out of my
3.
house.
Miss Miller.
And I called the police
Put her
on you.
outside.
That's why you left.
Put her outside. I'm going to let you cool off outside, Miss Miller.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Atina Miller says her son Charlie Washington, his girlfriend Michelle Hastings, and Michelle's mother Brenda owe for rent and repairs to her home.
Miss Miller, you can't talk to your son. This is not time for you to shout at your son when you're in a court. Time to do that is when you had him in therapy when he was 7 years old. If your son has been giving you problems and moved out of your house, whether you put him out of your house or whether he left voluntarily, you knew where he was living with the Hastings family and their daughter, that was probably a major error on their part. Some people do that. I never quite understand why they've taken somebody else's problem into their home. But be that as it may, if you decided that you wanted to put a roof over your son's head as his mother, that's what your job is. That kind of unconditional love is what you do for a child, even if they drive you crazy. Are you currently living in the house?
No, ma'am.
Did you decide to go back to your husband?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that where you are now?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that where you're going to stay, you think?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about the cars. You took your son's car out of impound?
I paid to get it out, yes, ma'am.
What'd you do with it?
Set it in my backyard.
And what happened to it?
It sat there until the day that he came and threatened me. And then I took it down on the corner where I told him and the police officer that I would set it and left the keys in it, that in the Nissan.
And somebody stole it?
I don't know.
Well, it wasn't found on the corner, is that right?
I don't know where they found it at.
Where did you find your car?
I found mine in a ditch on Orville Smith.
It was not in a ditch. I got pictures of where I left it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So what you're saying is somebody took the car after you left it there with the keys in it. Why'd you leave it there with the keys in it?
There was no keys in it.
There was keys in it.
Crazy.
When you left it, the keys were in it. So I'm asking you, why did you leave it with the keys in the car?
He came, he harassed me. I didn't want him on the property. And for him to come get the keys, then he would have to come on the property. And I talked to him in the back of the police car and told him.
What were the police doing there?
I called him because he threatened me.
When did he threaten you?
When he came to the house.
Was this after he had moved out of the rental house?
No, he was in jail. He had just gotten out October 31st, and I didn't know he was out of jail.
What was he in jail for?
Theft of property from an auto and breaking and entering of an auto.
What were you in jail for?
Assault the third.
He was also in jail for that.
Assault the third.
Who did you assault?
My girlfriend.
You ever arrested for breaking and entering?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
In 97.
What about auto theft?
Yes, ma'am.
So you got his car out of impound, you told the police he had threatened you, you were taking the car, you were parking it at the corner, you were leaving the keys in the car, and that's the last you know of the car.
Yes, ma'am.
And you found the car when you got out of jail, sir?
I did.
Where did you find it?
It's on Orville Smith Road. She parked it in the edge of the woods.
No, she doesn't park it anywhere. You found it there. You didn't see
I found it there.
You found it there.
I got out and I looked and I turned around and I went back to my house. And I brought him down there and he couldn't find no keys nowhere in the car.
Well, maybe somebody who stole the car took the keys after they finished joyriding in the car. What about your car?
Well, my mother and my father found it in a hayfield.
What makes you think that Miss Miller took your car?
Because she stole the keys out of my purse. I didn't have it in my possession.
No, I did not steal the keys from her purse. This key goes to a car of Charlie's that he has in their yard. I don't know if it runs or not, but it was sent this key ring with this key. And when I talked to Charlie on the phone after he had beat up Michelle, He told me one of them keys went to the car, and that's how I got the car.
So what did you do with the car?
Charlie explained for me to take the car to my house and park it and not to let Michelle have the car.
You mean her car?
No, it's his car. It's legally in his name.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Is your car, the car that you're talking about, that you're suing over, in whose name is that car titled?
His.
You have 2 cars titled in your name?
Yes, ma'am.
What year cars are they?
94 and 87.
What do you do for a living?
Well, I was working at Arby's.
At Arby's? Who bought the cars?
I bought one, she bought one. But she wasn't old enough to put it in her name, so I signed for it.
Why didn't her mother sign for it?
Because they went and got it without me. I was at work. They went looking at cars. They picked out one, and she bought it.
Miss Hastings,
Yes.
is he still living in your house?
He is right now, yeah.
You had him arrested for beating up your daughter. You've thrown him out of your house at least 3 times.
No.
He left your house 3 times in the last 2 years. You took him into his house, into your house when he was 17 years old. Since he was 17 years old, he's been arrested several times, according to him, for a variety of things. Breaking and entering, auto theft, assaulting your daughter. Would you kindly tell me what kind of medication you're on? Because I want to take some. If you don't see that he's not right for her.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Bettina Miller says her son Charlie Washington, his girlfriend Michelle Hastings, and Michelle's mother Brenda owe for rent and repairs to her home.
Miss Hastings, he's not right for her.
He may not be right for her, but everybody has to make their own choices, and
Hey. Everybody has to make their own choices once they're an adult. Until you're an adult, your parents help you make those choices, and they don't do things that encourage you to make bad choices.
Well, Tina has put her son out several times.
Tina's son is a bum. Was your daughter a bum when she was 15?
No, my daughter was in school when she was 15.
Is she still in school?
She's going to night classes.
No. Before she met him, she was in school.
Yeah, but she...
After she met him, she's not in school.
Had nothing to do with him.
Oh. Listen, Miss Miller.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to give you some words of advice. Is this the first child that you've had that's been in trouble?
Yes, ma'am.
You think you know how to deal with it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me how you're dealing with it.
I work with the best I can.
My advice to you is you be there as a backup in case of an emergency, in case something bad happens. But until he grows up and stops doing things that are both harmful to himself, to the people that care about him, and to you, he's going to have to make his own mistakes. If you put yourself in a financial position where you've stretched your finances, it's a foolish thing to do. Because what will happen is he will never be forced to grow up. You tell me you put him out of the house, or he left the house when he was 15. The Hastings took him in. And when the Hastings decided to put him out, you provided a roof over his head. He's never had to grow up and face responsibility. Had 2 cars titled in his name, working at Arby's.
Well, he didn't buy the car. The Firebird was given to him as a gift by me and my husband. I did not put him out of the house. He had a choice. He could go to jail or he could go back to Michigan to his dad. He took off on his own. He was on the run. We did look for him. He stayed with a friend of his up in a trailer, drinking, getting high. The owner of the trailer came to our house, wanted to know what was up. We went up there. He was gone.
Okay. Miss Hastings, I've already told you what I think of the fact that you allowed him to move back into your house after he beat up your daughter. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Absolutely the dumbest. And if your daughter wants to be dumb enough to take off with him, as you said, people make their own choices. But you're making it real comfortable for her to do things that ultimately are going to be devastating.
It doesn't matter in what they have done. I mean, it's the car situation. It's her having them to move into a rental house because her marriage, she moved out.
Listen to me. I'm not dealing with your lawsuits. Both of your lawsuits are nonsense. Hers, she cannot convince me that her son owes her any money. With regard to the cars, You have no proof whatsoever that your mother took your car, put it in a ditch. She says that after an argument with you, she told the police, I'm putting the car on the street corner with the keys in it. I don't want him anywhere near my house. A reasonable explanation is that somebody walked by, saw the keys in the car, took it for a joyride, and trashed it. I think that both of you, but especially you, Miss Hastings, I don't understand you at all. What do you do all day, sir?
Now,
Now.
go to school
No, you don't.
at night.
I asked you what you did during the day. Don't tell me that you go to school at night. What do you do all day?
Hunt for jobs.
Hunt for jobs. Michelle, what do you do all day?
Work.
Where?
At Walmart.
You work 5 days a week?
8 hours a day, 5 days a week.
And you come home and he's watching TV? Michelle, look at me. You come home and he's watching TV?
I don't know what he does during the day.
Michelle, before you get pregnant, get smart. You'll be working at Walmart, 9 months pregnant, and he's going to be sitting home playing with Nintendo that you will have bought him for Christmas. Get smart. Cases are dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I have told him the girl he's with, she was no good, she was rotten news.
That doesn't mean that they're going to get pregnant. My children are on birth control.
I don't have anything to do with him anymore. He lied.
Charlie will get on his feet.
The boy has had a drug problem since he was 12 years old.
He had a job, a full-time job at Arby's.
The main thing is the boy is out of my life.
He was making decent money.
He's backstabbed me left and right.
But no, she comes and has these two kids to move in with her so she can have money.
Don't spoil them like I did.
Champ, according to your complaint, you and the defendant were friends. And beginning sometime in 1999, you started to make a series of small loans to the defendant. In total, you say $500. Friendship terminated, and you want your money.
Yes, ma'am.
The defendant says that no time did she borrow $500 from you. She said that she only borrowed $200, but because of the stress that you put her through, she doesn't owe you anything and is counterclaiming for that stress in the amount of $500. What kind of loans, Mr. Beauchamp?
I loaned Miss Rubino a total of $500 from October through December of 1999. The first time she asked me to borrow $100 for her dog. I guess he needed some care or something, so I did loan her the $100. On the second occasion, she had a bed on layaway at a furniture store, and she was about $100 short for that. I did offer to loan her the money for that. And she had wrote a series of bad checks at a bar in Omaha, and she needed to borrow some money to cover those checks, and I did loan that to her.
How much?
The total came to about $500.
No. Not what I asked you. You say the total. This is a court, sir.
Yes.
$100 for the dog, $100 for the bed. How much was the third loan, sir?
That would have been the amount of about $120.
What else?
And then the next loan, the final loan would have been to, again, cover checks in her checking account. And
That's
that total,
not true.
Just a minute.
And that came to a total of about $500.
Mr. Beauchamp, so far you haven't established to my satisfaction that you loaned her any money. Because when somebody comes to court, they have dates. They say, on such and such a date, I made a loan in the amount of $100. 2 days later, a week later, I made a loan of another $100. Then you don't tell me it was about $120. And after that, well, all of them totaled $500. You have no clue. You should keep a record of when you lend somebody money.
I do have a letter in my possession that she had sent to me
Then let me see
in
it,
November.
sir.
Okay.
Maybe that will help me.
It's a letter written by Miss Rubino.
Ah, so you acknowledge you owed him $500.
That was before. I said that to basically get him off my back.
No.
That's
Listen to
true.
me. Listen to me.
Yes, I did it one time. I no longer feel that way. Well, no.
This
and
was
there's
only a
reasons.
few months ago, madam. A few months ago, you wrote what I consider a straightforward letter indicating that you had been friends with the plaintiff,
yes.
that clearly in your mind he wanted more than just a friendship. You were not interested in anything more than a friendship.
True.
And that you felt as if because of the way he feels, do I look as if I need help? Because of the way he feels, you shouldn't even continue with a friendship. Pretty straightforward letter and put very well. I have your name, address, etc., and will begin paying you the monies owed, $500, as soon as I am financially able. Thank you for your helping me, as I was desperate. Okay, you should keep better notes, Mr. Beauchamp. It would make my life much easier. You're just lucky that you have this letter. Otherwise, you'd be out of luck.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. I'm listening.
I do feel that I owe him $100 for my dog's situation. I do have a pet.
No, listen to me.
I borrowed that.
Shh, listen to me. November 11th of the year 2000, you wrote him this letter acknowledging a debt in the amount of $500. Tell me what happened after November 11th of the year 2000 that you believe vitiates, does away with the debt.
I think that letter is dated November 17th. The reason I'm pointing that out is my birthday was on November 12th.
November 11th.
Okay.
17th is a 1-7. This is a 1-1.
Okay, well, I know I wrote that right after my birthday in which he proposed to me. When I said no, all of a sudden he was suing me for $500. Now I want to say, for one thing, had I just gone with him and made him happy or whatever by marrying him, it was just understood I would owe him no money. You know, we'd be the best of friends and there would be no problems. I won't go all into it, but he kind of thinks everything revolves around money, every emotion, everything. And I cannot be
Right now, that's what it's all about, madam. I'm not here thinking about your emotions.
I know.
I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, therapist, counselor, or anything else.
Okay.
I'm here talking about money.
Okay.
On the 11th of November of the year 2000, you acknowledged a debt to him in the amount of $500. I want you to explain to me, after November 11th, did you pay him? Did you pay him back?
No.
Did you have a conversation with him where he said, I am forgiving the loan?
Okay, the $100 loan?
The $500 loan?
No.
So now you tell me why you don't owe him the money.
I do not any longer feel like I owe him any money because he has stalked me, showed up at family functions and sang love songs to me when I never even invited him. He has embarrassed me, told lies, very personal lies to my sister, to my family, that have been humiliating. We always were just friends, but because he wanted it to be more, he kind of painted this picture to everyone around us.
When did you realize he wanted it to be more?
Oh, about 3 or 4 months into the relationship. I wasn't sure, but after I kept reiterating that we were just friends, about 3 or 4 months, I kind of thought, well, there might not be any talking him into just being friends.
After that, did you take any money from him?
After that, no, I didn't take any money from him, but we would go out to shopping
Just a
malls.
second.
We would go out. Okay.
Just a second. When did you first meet her?
I first met her in April of 1999.
And these loans didn't begin until October of 1999.
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
So if you say that you knew within the first 3 months, you
I wasn't
started
positive.
taking money
All right.
well after you knew that he cared for you in a different way than you cared for him.
I wasn't positive, Your Honor. I just had a gut feeling that there was no talking him out of just being friends, and he wanted more out of the friendship. I wasn't
Then
positive.
you should have written
but
this letter a long time ago and not compounded your foolishness by taking money from him. Bird, look at the second hand on your watch. The defendant has 30 seconds to tell me about her counterclaim.
I do honestly believe that because on the basis of 2 factors that I do not owe Mr. Beauchamp.
I'm talking about your counterclaim, madam, and you're wasting time.
Okay. The reason is because I encouraged my dad to hire him for at least $1,200 of projects. My dad would ask me-
Counterclaim.
Well, this is the $500. This is relating to.
He's going to get the $500, madam. Now I'm talking about your counterclaim.
Okay.
You have a counterclaim for harassment.
Okay.
Mental language.
Your Honor, may I speak?
No,
wait,
I didn't
this
ask you
is-
questions. Sit down.
Judge, 30 seconds is up.
Maybe she
well-
didn't understand.
Okay.
So we'll
I
give her
didn't
another
understand,
30
I'm sorry.
seconds. Counterclaim.
Okay.
Stress.
The emotional distress was basically him harassing me, stalking me, lying about us having a personal relationship, an intimate relationship when we never did, and
You don't get paid
the
for
mental
that.
distress.
You don't
I
get
went
paid
to a
for that.
psychiatrist over it.
Maybe if you had terminated your friendship with him when you first had a clue, madam, that he was becoming more emotionally involved with you than you were with him, then you wouldn't be seeing a psychiatrist right now. So I'm dismissing your counterclaim. On your claim, sir, I find that she has acknowledged the debt, she has not paid the debt, You have not forgiven the debt. You are entitled to your money. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
What's he gonna be, Mr. Beauchamp or Mr. Beauchamp?
I don't have great animosity towards him as long as he stays at least 200 feet away from me at all times.
Honestly, I have no hard feelings towards her at all, and I promise I'll stay away from her.
And now the next case.
All parties on Harrelson versus Stracker. Step forward, please.
59-year-old corporate president Seth Harrelson is suing 53-year-old Shirley Stracker and her husband William. Seth says the Stracker's 17-year-old son Jonathan wrecked his daughter's car.
All right, Mr. Harrelson, this is your daughter, I assume?
Yes, Your Honor.
She's 16,
Yes, she is.
and you purchased a car for her.
We actually leased the car for her. We put the down payment for her, and she makes the payments.
And according to your complaint, there came a time when your daughter was out with her new car. You can stand up here with your father. And the defendant's son was there, and he asked if he could drive the car, right?
Correct.
And you said okay.
After asking him if he had a license.
You asked him if he had a license. He said yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you let him drive the car.
Yes, Your Honor.
He had an accident, and you want the defendants to pay for all of the unreimbursed expenses that your insurance didn't cover. Mr. and Mrs. Stracker say they didn't have the confidence in their son to let him take driver's ed, to let him have a driver's license. They told him they did not want him to drive yet, and that they should not be held responsible because your daughter let him drive the car. It's a very interesting scenario. Why don't you stand up, sir? Did you and your dad ever have a conversation about letting any of your friends drive your car?
I believe so.
Of course you did. I mean, that sounds normal.
That
Right?
car was for her use only.
Right. So why did you let him drive the car?
Because at the time I was tired and my boyfriend was going to drive the car, but he asked and offered if he could drive, and so I agreed.
Well, did you have your father's permission to let your boyfriend drive the car?
No.
I assume that your boyfriend has driven the car before,
Yes.
without your parents' permission.
Yes.
You didn't know that anybody else was driving this car, I assume.
Wasn't aware of it.
I'm sure. I've had kids of my own who were 16, who I had this discussion with 5 times over.
But we know nothing until after it happens, and then we get smarter.
Right. Tell me about the accident.
We were coming down the street, and upon making a right turn, he stopped in the middle of the lane because he almost missed the street he was supposed to turn right on. And he went to make the right turn, but he made it too late. He pulled into the opposing traffic lane. An oncoming car was coming. He jerked the wheel to the right. He hit off of a curb. The impact from the curb sent us all the way across the other side of the street onto another curb, a lawn, and into a bush, which stopped us from hitting the fence.
What happened when your father found out that he was driving the car?
He was angry. I was grounded for a while.
Now, when did your son turn 16?
July 16th.
Did he ask you to take driver's ed and all that other stuff that kids ask you to take?
Well, I don't recall if he asked me, but I had planned on letting him take it later on, you know, but not now.
Why?
Well, I have 4 sons, and my 3 older ones, I did not allow them to get a car or get their license until they were able to pay for their own car, their own insurance. So, and this was just the rules, so that was the way I was going to have it with him also.
Did you tell him that?
Well, he knew that. Yeah, I've told him that.
What's your first name?
Jonathan.
So you never took driver's ed?
No.
So tell me why you asked Lacey if you could drive the car.
Well, I was just joking around. I didn't really think that she'd let me drive the car. And then she did let me drive the car, which was surprising because she actually did know I did not have a license.
How did she know that?
We've known each other for a while. Everyone in our group of friends makes fun of me because they know I'm not getting my license till I'm probably around 18 or 19, so.
That still doesn't answer my question, Jonathan. Why did you ask her if you could drive the car?
Well, I wasn't really thinking that she'd let me. I was just joking around. It was supposed to be a joke, like.
Okay, so now it was a joke, and then she said okay.
Yeah. And then I stupidly got in the driver's seat, so.
You knew that was wrong.
Yes.
Now, your mother has told me that there were clear rules in your family about not having a driver's license. Were there ever any discussions, arguments in your house, little tiffs about the driver's license?
No, we never.
You're a good kid. I don't know if I could get away with that. Let me tell you why this case presents a problem to me, Mr. Harrelson. Ordinarily, I would say, well, he clearly is responsible for at least part of the damage to your car because he did, in fact, get behind the wheel, drove it, and he caused damage to your car, and why should you have to shoulder that yourself? The issue that's presented is, should his parents, who have done everything that they can to ensure that he not drive a car, they've made it clear to him that until he is responsible enough, he does not have their permission to do it, and they've acted on what they said. You felt you could trust your daughter, right?
Correct. I think that my only rebuttal to that would be the fact, okay, my daughter is 16. She wanted to drive a car. I took the time to take her out to parking lots, to school grounds, to big areas where there was no traffic to teach her how to responsibly drive a car. Okay, I took those steps. Nobody had a sign around this boy's neck that says, I do not have a license. He knows he doesn't have a license. Nobody put him behind the wheel of that car except himself.
No, you're
Now,
wrong, sir. No, Mr. Harrelson, that's where you're mistaken. But for your daughter's permission, he would not have been behind the wheel of the car. And while you may have given her driving lessons and taught her how to drive responsibly, she still lacked the judgment and the maturity to be able to say to Jonathan, sorry, Jonathan, you can't drive my car whether you have a license or not because I've made a promise to my parents. So that my problem is, if I could hold Jonathan here partially responsible, I would do that. He's a minor, so I can't do that. I have to find that his parents knew or should have known or in some way enabled him to do what he did. And I find that quite to the contrary, they did everything to avoid his being behind the wheel of a car. That's why his parents aren't responsible. Now, if they knew that he had done this sort of thing before, I would say, yes, they are at least partially responsible. But I, quite frankly, Mr. Harrelson, cannot find them partially responsible. He is. I mean, she may have given you permission, given you the car keys, and turned the car over to you, but nobody grabbed you by the throat and put you into the car. So, Mr. Harrelson, I will certainly tell young Jonathan here that he's a very young man, and if he wants to start his life out right, taking care of his own obligations, and if you want to be mature enough, and if you want to drive a car before you're 50 years old, because I guarantee you, I'm looking at your mother in your mother's house, you ain't going to drive a car so soon. Now, in the law, because Jonathan is a minor, I cannot enter a judgment against him. I could enter a judgment against his parents for contributory negligence, because he was contributorily negligent in this accident. But I would have to satisfy myself that they in some way either knew, actively or tacitly, or encouraged him to get behind the wheel of a car, any car, and that would be by participating in him getting a license, by participating in driver's ed. Quite the contrary. In their case, sir, he was told, you can't drive. But you have to understand, Mr. Harrelson, but for the actions of your agent, and in this situation, your daughter was your agent, because you chose to give her a car. You gave her certain rules, which she violated with regard to other people driving the car. So, but for her actions, we would not be here today. Therefore, I can impugn her negligence in letting him drive that car to you. His parents didn't allow him to do that. And if I were to say that they were financially responsible to you, I would be impugning his negligence to them, and they did everything that they could to see to it that their son did not drive a car until they thought he was responsible. I'm telling you, your daughter may know how to drive a car, but she violated your trust on many more than this one occasion. So grounded is one thing, but I would rethink it in any event. For the reasons that I've outlined, your lawsuit is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Don't drive when you're not supposed to be driving.
Ms. Thomas, it is your claim that the defendant's son broke your son's nose.
Correct.
You want to tell me what happened?
Well, I was walking down the street because my friends said they were going to play football that day. None of them were out there. And then Tyra and Jatisse, the two girls that were like friends that lived down the street, and they were yelling out the window. And I didn't understand what they're saying. I was like, well, I'm gonna go home. Then Joe started coming to me, and he was like, what's up, what's up?
and then he hit me in my nose. And then I said, I don't want to fight you, and then he hit me in my nose, and it started to bleed.
So were you alone at the time he came up to you?
Yes.
Okay, now let's come to you, Ms. Thomas. How did you find out about your son's nose?
Well, the young lady, Tyra, is one of the girls that was with him, came running up to my...
I thought you said you were alone.
But they were coming out the door at the time. So as he walked up to me, they were coming out the door.
So one of the girls came to your house?
Yes, and she came running up to the door saying, hurry, hurry, Austin's bleeding, he needs you down the street. So I went running down there, and I saw him with his head back like this. There was blood everywhere, all over his clothes, on the ground. And I ripped off my tank top and put it to his face, and I asked him, do you know who did this to you? And they said, it's Joe, and he's right around the corner playing basketball. I said, take me to him. Take me to him right now. And I said, so you're the one who broke my son's nose. And he said, I ain't got time for your drama, B. And started going off on me. Like I was bothering his game of basketball when he just broke my son's nose. I said, so what, you just are going to break my son's nose and act like it's nothing? He's like, you. You know, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to stand out here and argue with a bunch of kids. So I went home, I picked up the phone, I called 911. The cops came out, took him home to his cousin. I had him delivered in a cop car.
Now I'll hear from you.
At first I was walking home from school, and then my best friend asked me if I want to play basketball. So we was over his house playing basketball. His sister Tyra told him that some little boy around the corner was messing with her. So we went around the corner, and as we was about to fight him, I stepped in the middle and I told him not to hit him. Then he was talking stuff, and he called
Who's he was talking stuff?
Austin.
Did you know him from before?
No, never seen this.
So what kind of stuff was he talking?
He was like, I'm not scared of him, I'm not scared of him. And then he called me a B, and then I just took off my jacket and I hit him twice.
Do you think that's okay?
Yeah, if I felt like if I wouldn't hit him, then he would hit me.
But he didn't hit you.
I felt like he was about to.
What made you think he was about to hit you?
Because the way he looked at me.
The way he looked at you?
The way he looked at me.
Now, after you hit him twice in the nose, you went back to play basketball.
Yes.
And then his mother came up to you. She just told me that you cursed at her.
No.
Oh, yes, you did.
Well, she was cussing at me. She actually threatened me.
Well, how did she threaten you?
She said she'll get a 15 or 16-year-old on me, and she said she'll kill me. That's when she stepped down the street like she was going to hit me, but my best friend, he stepped in front of me and told her to go on because she's not hitting me.
You have a police report?
Yes, I do.
Were you arrested?
Well, taken home, yeah.
After you were taken home, did you have to appear in juvenile court?
No.
Why didn't you press charges against him?
I did press charges, Your Honor, but they were telling me even if I filed and received a misdemeanor on him for the assault charges, the only pain and suffering or anything that I could get was $300.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about teaching him a lesson. How many times have you been in a police car?
Just twice.
When before that were you in a police car?
Some little kids was busting windows, and they mistakenly put me in the police car on accident, and it wasn't me.
It wasn't you?
No.
Let me see your bills.
Your Honor, can I say something?
Yes.
You know, and also when Austin after he had broke his nose, he told my son, he said to everybody in the neighborhood, he kept saying, well, that's what the white boy gets. That's what the white boy gets, you know. And my son, granted, he is light-skinned, but I don't care what shade you are, you know what I mean? This isn't about what color you are. It's about violating my child.
Absolutely right.
So that was another thing, because they think he's a white boy, and he's not just a white boy.
No, he's a boy.
Right, exactly.
He's a boy. What?
I don't feel like it's a racial thing here because my son is not racist, not at all.
He may not be, but he certainly has a little bit of a violent tendency.
I mean, that's all kids is like that when you're
No, all kids aren't like
this
that.
he was.
All kids aren't
he
like
was
that.
cursing too.
Cursing
So-
is one thing. Listen to me. Your son went up to him, came around the corner, came up to him, and hit him in the face because he didn't like the way he looked at him, according to him.
No.
He looked as if he might be going to hit him, so he hit him first, twice. But he went looking for him. He came around the corner, and before he even found out what was going on, I mean, I read his answer. His answer was he was protecting some little girl that he thought he was teasing. He was in a confrontation with another friend. That's a lot of baloney. He came around the corner, and he hit him twice. And he's responsible. He's responsible for his broken nose. He's responsible for all the medical bills, and he's responsible for pain and suffering. He's responsible for that.
I understand that.
What? You want to say something, sir?
Yes. Your Honor, when I received the phone call from my wife that the incident had taken place, I rushed home. During the time that my wife was filing a report, she had noticed that two of the young men that were at the scene were walking by snickering. And so I asked him to come here, and I asked him, I said, you know what, I want to know which one of you two were the one calling my wife out of her name. And they began to tell me that Joe is one of the kids in the neighborhood that he thinks he has to go for bad or whatnot. He has to prove something to himself. And that the girls that he accuses my son of making fun of, we have written testimonies from the young ladies. They warned Austin to run because they knew that Joe was going to go up to him and fight him for no reason at all. I asked the police officer to make sure his mother calls us. She wanted to know what happened, and she explained to me that, you know, it doesn't surprise her that her son, you know, might have did this, but she wanted to hear both. She wanted to hear both sides of the story. She is well aware that Joe is one way with her and another way out in the neighborhood, and she can't understand why he acts that way because her other children, her other young boys, don't act that way.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 10-year-old Austin Saffel says neighbor 12-year-old Joel Jackson punched him in the face and broke his nose. Joel says he thought Austin was going to hit him first.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, I spoke to her one time as Austin's mother. She informed me that she wants to hurry up and get the court situation over with. And I just hung up on her. I flat out hung up on her. You know, how are you going to call me and tell me that we need to hurry up and get this over with? Well, so would I, but I have to go to an ENT for my son's nose. His nose has to be broke now 2 times because he has a lump coming out of the side of his nose. You know, hello, this doesn't end for me just because I go to court.
So you have to do additional medical procedures other than the $2,059 that you've already spent.
Yes, it's $85 just for us to show our face into the ENT clinic.
Could you step up, please? I want to take a look at your nose. Where is it broken?
It's broke right down here, right in here.
Mm-hmm. You have any medical report in your file?
Yes, I do.
Can I see you step back to your folks, please? Do you have any other report with regard to the procedure for re-breaking his nose and resetting it?
I asked them what it will cost for Austin's nose. They said every nose varies. Some noses run $1,000, some runs $500. They just don't know until they see it.
Well, right now you have about $2,100 in out-of-pocket expenses just for his medical visits.
Yes, and I have no insurance because my husband got a better paying job, and his insurance doesn't even kick in for 90 days. So this is, every time I've went, it's self-pay, self-pay. I mean, we work for a living.
Yes, we do.
Well, I'm glad that you're working.
I agree with that.
I'm glad that you're working.
Mm-hmm.
She's not going to have any of these expenses out of pocket.
Mm-hmm.
You had no right to hit him. Don't look up at the sky. You're just very, very lucky that they didn't pursue this matter in juvenile court because they probably wouldn't have put you away, but you would have had a record. How old are you?
12.
12. So you would have had a record at age 12. That's not very smart. How many brothers do you have?
2.
They ever been in jail?
No.
They nice boys?
Yes.
Good. So you have good examples at home. What happened to you?
Nothing.
Ever been suspended for fighting in school?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. How did I know that? How do you think I knew that?
I don't know.
Wasn't that a good question? Look, I'm only giving you your medical bills up until today, plus some additional costs that you incurred. But you may have to bring an additional suit once you have additional medical costs, because I can't anticipate what those medical bills are going to be. Do you understand?
Yes.
So I'm issuing a judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,500. It covers your bills until today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I don't appreciate her cussing out my son the way she did.
When you see your child bleeding on a street and he's left there and you're just going to protect your child, I will say that sometimes you say things that just is not of you, but out of, frustration and anger.
And now the next case.
All parties on Zavala versus Johnson. Step forward, please.
20-year-old salesperson Brooklyn Zavala is suing her sister-in-law, 23-year-old restaurant manager Tiana Johnson, for babysitting fees and damage to her vehicle.
Mrs. Zavala, the defendant is your sister-in-law.
Yes.
According to your complaint, you provided daycare services for your sister-in-law's children.
Yes.
Then she decided to move. You did provide childcare for a few days, for which you were not paid.
Correct.
And then on the day that your sister-in-law was moving, it is your claim that she damaged a car of yours.
True.
What was your arrangement with regard to the childcare?
I was to get paid $2.37 per hour.
How did you come
per
to
child.
that figure?
Because that's what the state was allowing her to get. I was just to get the whole check from the Health and Welfare Office. I got a check for May, June, and July. And then in August, I watched them for 5 days.
Which 5 days in August?
2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Ms. Johnson, did you get a check from the state for those dates in August?
No, I did not.
Why?
Because they were taking me off that program at that time because I was moving.
She was supposed to get a check. I have record right here that it got sent back to Health and Welfare.
Let me see.
From her caseworker.
My caseworker told me that I was not getting a check for that month.
So it was returned?
Right.
So she did not, you're not claiming that she got the money and just didn't give it to you?
Right, I just didn't get paid.
Well, she's not going to pay you. You have to get your money from the state. That was your agreement.
They only pay a portion on that, so she would also have to pay on top of that.
Why? That wasn't your agreement. That wasn't your agreement, Ms. Zavala.
True.
Your agreement was that whatever money she received from the state, you would get.
Right.
And you never got any additional monies in the months that you did watch the children.
True.
Right? So why would you expect additional monies in August?
I estimated it from $2.37 for each child per hour.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
I do.
I don't know what we're fighting about here for 5 days worth of daycare. If two people who are related to each other, except maybe the fight's about this damaged truck. So you want to tell me about the damaged truck?
Well, the morning of the 8th of August, we got a phone call saying we needed to come to Tiana's. Tiana had something to tell us. We were told she was leaving town because she was scared to death if her husband was going to kill her, which is her witness right now.
Go ahead.
Her brother and her also got in an argument, and because he was telling her that she shouldn't pick up and leave like that with 3 children.
Who should she leave the children with?
We were going to offer, or Sean and Christine, and then Delano and Amanda, which is also her brother and sister-in-law.
Okay. What happened when she left?
Well, we helped her pack, and a couple hours later, she just was leaving, wasn't watching where she was going, and backed into my car. She said sorry, didn't even get out of her van, and then left.
She was upset, I assume, right?
No, she was fine by then because we were just packing up and leaving. She was in a hurry to leave.
Why do you think she was in a hurry?
Because she had to meet with a couple people in Oregon that she was going with.
She said she had to leave because she was deathly afraid of her husband. You don't think that picking up and leaving and packing up very quickly and leaving with your 3 children, you're upset? I mean, I'm not giving...
That happened a month or 2 prior to her leaving. She was still going up and taking the kids up to his house
because he's their father
until 2 o'clock in the morning, and she's deathly afraid of him. These are the car estimates and pictures.
I also have a Blue Book value of the car as a trade-in and as retail value.
Well, you definitely hit her car.
She was parked at an angle right in my blind spot on a cul-de-sac, which you're supposed to be parked with the curve. She was parked straight out this way. And when I was backing out, I could not see her, and I hit her like this.
Okay. $900 worth of damage.
And the Blue Book value of the car as a trade-in is $375, and the retail value is $1,400.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a large amount for damage. It's almost as much as the car is worth.
So what do you think the right thing to do is?
Actually, 4 days before she filed this suit, I had told my brother that I was going to give them some money. And she has not tried to contact me, tried to resolve anything, to even try to work out a payment or anything.
Well, what is everybody so mad about?
I think she's mad because I left and she was out of a job.
No, because I went and got a job 2 weeks later.
All I heard that day that I was leaving was, what about the check? What about the check? No, I'm going to miss you or anything. It was all about the check.
No.
The money.
Wrong, because I was trying to talk her out of going. I was scared for the kids' welfare because the van wasn't going to make it to West Virginia.
Did it make it?
No. She left it on the side of a highway with all of their belongings in it, pretty much.
No, I didn't. I got the belongings there. My children were safe. My children were back safe.
Did the van die?
The transmission went out.
How did you get to your final destination?
With the rest of the party that I was traveling with. We had 3 different cars going.
Where were you going? Just for my own.
To West Virginia.
To what?
I had some friends up there.
Who are the other people?
To go stay there. Some cousins, longtime friends of the family.
Well, were they going to live too?
Mm-hmm.
You just decided to all leave at the same time to go to West Virginia to live?
Right. There was a lot of circumstances following that.
Well, just give it to me in 30 seconds or less, would you?
Okay. They were deciding to leave, so I went over there. They offered me to go with them, so I decided, yeah, I would
Where
go.
were you all going? I mean, were you going to a farmhouse someplace? Where were you going to live?
No, I have a really good friend that lives up there, and she offered for me to stay with her.
How long did you stay there?
I stayed there a matter of 2 months.
And then where did you come?
I had to come back to the state of Idaho.
Why?
For a custody hearing.
And then you reconciled with your husband?
Somewhat, yes.
What does somewhat mean?
We're working on the situation.
Do you live under the same roof?
No.
What?
Can I stand up?
Of course, if you want to speak.
Yeah, what I was told by his mother was that...
It's hearsay.
Well, even he admitted it. She came back down for that custody hearing plus a battery hearing.
Against him?
Against him, and then they were still together during that whole issue. They came back and they're still together now, from what I heard.
I guess.
And the whole thing with the car is, when she was up in West Virginia, I talked to her, said, you need to start making some payments. And that was like almost a year went by and nothing happened.
You owe them $900 to fix their car. With regard to the money for your 5 days of babysitting, I suggest that you take that up with the state.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $900. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I don't think that she should get that much for the damage of the car because it's almost as much as what the car is worth.
There's a lot of history between Tiana and the family, and it goes much deeper, stuff we can't even get into.
I feel I had partial responsibility.
I can't trust her. I can't trust her. No one can in the family. She needs to earn her trust back from everybody.
Any trouble with each other? Other than this instance?
Yes, I have.
Like what kind of trouble?
Well, my dogs were poisoned, my car was hit and run, my tires have been slashed.
What does that have to do with the defendant?
Well, I feel that he filed this report maliciously against me, Your Honor, to make my life
I'm not talking about the
miserable.
report. I'm talking about prior to this report that we're talking about. Had you had any difficulty with him?
Other than incidents, no. I rarely see these people or speak with them.
So, my question is, prior to this incident,
yes,
had you had any difficulty with Mr. Freytag?
No.
According to your complaint, you hit his car.
Yes.
Which was parked.
Yes.
Deliberately.
And that happened on a Friday, the 15th
Yes.
of December. Your claim is that he filed a false report of a hit and run, as a result of which your car was impounded, you lost a catering job, you want him to pay for the impound fees and the loss of income that you had as a result of this catering job.
Yes, Your Honor.
So let's go to December 15th. At what time of the day did you hit his car?
I would say about 8:30 a.m.
What happened when you hit his car?
Well, when I start the car, I put it in gear. The van lurched forward and broke Mr. Freytag's lens covers on his car and scratched his bumper. Then Mr. Freytag came out, running out of his house, yelling at me, and I told him that it was an accident, that I was sorry, that I had insurance, that I would pay for it.
It's not true.
Just a minute. You'll have your turn. Did you give him your insurance card and information?
No, I showed it to him.
What do you mean you showed it to him?
I showed it to him. I said, I have insurance for all my vehicles. He kept yelling at me. He says, "Why? Well, you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that." And I said, "Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. I have to leave now." And I did it. I had a big event that evening. I will at any time work 3 to 5 parties in a weekend, so
Just try to answer my question, sir.
Okay.
You're not going to get ahead of me. Trust me.
I know.
Trust me.
I do trust you.
You're not. Just trust me that you're not going to get ahead of me. Where were you going?
I was going to the store to pick up some product.
What kind of product?
I think it was paper plates and napkins or something.
Anything else?
It was, I think I needed some sugar and some dairy product and...
So where did you go after you left the store?
I went back and parked
To where? Went back to where?
A street in back of my house, 2 blocks from my house.
And why did you do that?
Because I've been having my tires slashed.
But you had had your tires slashed before and yet you parked in front of your house.
Well, I actually have built a driveway on the side of my house.
You mean just this day you decided
Yeah,
when
because
you
I
came
was
back not to park your car there?
It's a hassle to park in that small area that I have.
So instead
created.
you parked 2 blocks away?
This time, yes.
And you walked home with all your product?
No, I left the product in the van.
So then whatever you bought you left in the van and you went to your house?
I made some phone calls and, you know, went out in my other car to meet someone.
What time?
9:30, 10 maybe.
So you went to the store, picked up what you needed, you came back, made some phone calls, and then went out again, all in the span of a half hour?
I would say so, yes.
So then you went out again in another one of your cars?
Yes.
Now that car, I guess you weren't worried about having the tires slashed?
No. It had already been slashed.
You mean you drove a car with slashed tires?
No.
And what time did you get home that evening?
We left.
Excuse me?
When I saw my car being towed, I canceled my party and I left.
How did you see your car being towed?
Well, I saw the police in front of my house talking to Mr. Freitag.
About what time, sir?
This is about 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, so you didn't leave?
I was driving by and I saw the police in front of the house talking with Mr. Freitag.
Yes.
And I didn't want to deal with the police. They've been searching my house 3-4 times a month.
Just a second. You didn't want to deal with the police at that time.
Yeah.
So I assume that you knew at that time they were talking to Mr. Freitag about the accident that had occurred that morning.
Exactly.
And you didn't want to deal with it at that time.
I don't want to deal with it.
So you left.
Exactly.
Now then you said something about seeing your car being towed. When did that happen?
My neighbor told me that my van had been towed and that the police were looking for me.
At what time did you see your neighbor?
This was in the early afternoon.
What did you do then?
I went to Santa Barbara.
Is that where the car was?
No, that's where the police weren't.
That's where the police were not?
Yes.
Okay, and why did you do that?
Because I'm afraid of the police.
Okay. Okay. When did you finally make contact with the police, Mr. Patterson?
Monday morning.
So that was 3 days later?
Yes.
Okay, and what did you do?
I went in because I called the detectives, wanted me to come in. I came in, I showed them my insurance, and they let me go.
How did you know to see this particular detective? Was there a note on your door?
How did I don't remember.
Okay. But they told you where your car was?
Yes.
And when was your catering job?
That evening, December 15th.
Well, could you explain to me, I mean, even if I bought this whole story, could you explain to me why Mr. Freitag is responsible for you losing a catering job on December 15th?
Because he had my car filed towed for no other reason than to be malicious. I mean, I've lived next door to him.
Just a second. So you had all this stuff prepared, I assume, for this party on December 15th. If you had everything ready, you go to the party and you do the party. You rent a couple of taxi cabs and you get there. Why is he responsible for that?
Because my van was towed.
I'm saying to you, sir, you have the food for the party, you got the paper plates, you got the sugar, you got the dairy, you got everything else. You want to go over to the party, and I assume that you had done all of this stuff well in advance, at least most of it, certainly done in the morning. He didn't interfere. You weren't in jail. You go to do the party. All right, Mr. Freitag, let's hear your version. He hits your car, you hear a noise. What happened?
I believe he hit my car at 8 a.m. in the morning, and I would like to elaborate on something. I believe that my car being struck deliberately is simply a symptom of a larger scope, a bigger picture. I have evidence of a running log of Bill Patterson harassing his wife, and she at this point is 7 months pregnant. Once I called the police because of it. My witness, John Kelly, has called the police based on this log about 4 times, I believe. So this
Can I see the log, please?
It's this wife harassment process, and my worry and my concern for the baby that I believe has brought all of this on.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. William Patterson says neighbor Tim Freitag filed false hit-and-run charges against him. Tim denies the charges were false and says he's concerned for the welfare of William's wife.
Were you aware of the fact that he had called the police as a result of what he believed to be domestic violence in your house?
I believe that he was calling the police, yes.
Is this your wife?
Yes.
Step up. Have you been at home when the police responded to your home?
Pardon me?
Have you been at home when the police came to your home?
Yes.
Involving domestic violence in your home?
The first time, no. Just
At any time?
Yes.
How long have you been married to the plaintiff?
Tomorrow gonna be 3 years.
You have children?
One baby, yeah.
How old is your baby?
7 months.
Does your husband yell?
Sometimes.
Does he yell loud?
He has a loud voice, yeah.
Do you ever yell at him?
Not often.
Has your husband ever put his hands on you?
No.
Never.
No.
Where do you come from?
I'm from El Salvador.
Do you have any other family here?
No.
You're alone?
Yeah.
Do you know the defendant?
Yeah.
Have you ever spoken with him?
Just one time.
When was that?
I think so. I was pregnant when I talked to him. He was doing some gardening, and we live next door, and he just, I don't know, I talked to him.
You never had any problem with him, is that right? You never had any problem with Mr. Freytag?
No.
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
I do operate a catering business out of my home. I yell on the phone with my purveyors, with my fishmonger, whoever it is.
That's not what we're talking about
I
here.
understand that's not what you're talking about.
Mr. Patterson, that's not what we're talking about
I have
here.
built fences between our properties to try and give my neighbors more privacy.
Illegal
but there is
fence.
there's no domestic violence going on, and I consider this harassment. I mean, we have had the agriculture department, the dog catcher,
Mr.
the
Patterson,
building inspector,
Mr.
every
Patterson.
possible person come and inspect us.
Mr. Patterson, we're not talking about yelling and screaming on the phone, sir, to people who are servicing your business. And when I asked you before whether or not you had had any prior dealings of a negative nature with the defendant, you said no.
Yeah.
But you just told me, sir, you were aware of the fact or believed that he had called the police with regard to what he believed to be domestic violence coming from your home.
I assumed that. I also assumed that he's been slashing the tires and doing all this other malicious stuff to my property.
You want to say anything else, sir?
It sounded one day and several times like his wife was in distress and he was doing the aggressive yelling.
Were you the only one at home when you heard that?
No.
Who else was at home?
John Kelly on many occasions.
Well, step up, Mr. Kelly. I'd like to hear you, sir.
Anna, my other roommate.
Well, that person's not here. Mr. Kelly,
Yes, Your Honor.
you live in the same house as the defendant?
Yes, we share the house.
Have
Along
you
with
ever
another
heard what appeared to be yelling coming from the plaintiff's home?
I would say frequently, Your Honor, if not consistently. And it was I who made the first phone call alleging domestic abuse, and I think it's ongoing.
Can you tell me what you heard the first time?
Very loud yelling, obviously directed at Gloria. We had been concerned about her ongoing, and I just got to the point where I could no longer ignore it. And by this time, she'd had the baby, and I was concerned that the kid should even be in that environment where all the yelling and screaming didn't seem to me like to be the proper place for the job. But in addition to which, I thought that ultimately it could get physical. Mr. Patterson's got a reputation in the neighborhood for being somewhat strange with his temper.
Did you ever hear the same kind of confrontations coming from the house while Miss Patterson was pregnant?
They did not seem to be as regular, and it didn't register me at the time, with me at the time. I started that log. We actually kept that log on the refrigerator, and I told everybody in and around the house that any time anything happened with this guy to make a note of it, because I suspected something like this was going to come up. I actually wanted to pursue a restraining order. Tim didn't. I think we need one. When I served him the summons in the case that we originally filed against him to get Tim's damages back, he came at me with a 2x4. I actually found that amusing. I wasn't too concerned, as you may have imagined.
I gather. Are you the other neighbor?
Yes.
Step up, sir. Tell me your name.
James Robinson.
How long have you lived in the neighborhood, Mr. Robinson?
8 years.
You know the plaintiff?
Yes, both.
You know his wife?
Yes.
How far away do you live from them?
I live in a condo right next to them, and actually the side of my house faces their side, and then they're on the other side.
Are you friends?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know the defendant?
Yes, friends with them too.
Have any problem with them?
None at all.
Were you the one who told Mr. Patterson that his car had been towed?
That was a guy across the street.
Your Honor, I have some information about the towing.
Yes.
It was actually I who called the police the second time. I became concerned that Mr. Patterson was probably stashing his vehicle in order to cover up evidence of the accident, because when I returned to the house, I actually saw the accident happen. What happened was I went out looking for the van. I found the van. There was clear evidence of the impact on it. I called Tim on his cell phone. He went and took pictures. I then called the police and told them that the reason that I was calling them is that we could not determine either the license or insurance information from Mr. Patterson. The officer was great. He says to me, "We'll go get it." He says, "He'll tell me or I'll take his truck." He went to the house. This is approximately 4:30 in the afternoon. Nobody responded. Police then went back to the truck, called the tow truck. By this time, it's dark, so it's fairly late in the day.
So this was at least at 5:30 or 6 o'clock.
Definitely, it was after sunset. But I was the one that initiated
Well,
the
after
call.
you'd bring catered food to a party.
I would think so.
Right. Okay. Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
Ever heard any yelling coming from their house?
A few times. But again, I know Billy, and I know that he does have a loud voice, and I know it's harmless.
You don't live with him?
No.
When you heard the loud yelling, Mr. Robinson, you look like a very honest guy. I know I'm going to get honest answers from you. Was that yelling that was coming from conversation with an employee on the telephone, or was it coming from someone who was yelling at his wife?
I think it could have been a combination of both. I think, like I say, Billy's very emotional and can be very loud. I know that he wouldn't hurt her because I've confronted him on that, and I kind of...
Mr. Robinson, you know I've been around the block a little bit in this business.
Right.
When you say you've had conversations with Mr. Patterson about it, it must have bothered you a little bit.
Yeah,
That a fair statement?
Yes.
That it bothered you a little bit. That he's got a wife who comes from El Salvador who doesn't have another living soul here. You don't hear her yelling at him, do you?
No.
Just him. Mr. Patterson, you have no basis for your lawsuit, sir. Instead of following through, you took your car away and you stashed it a couple of blocks away. You saw the police were looking for you. You avoided the police. You said that yourself. You wanted not to deal with the police at all. You figured maybe the whole thing would blow over. I don't know what you thought. The defendant, shh, I'm speaking. You're not going to yell at me. Trust me. The defendant had an absolute right to call the police and say, he hit my car, he took off, he secreted his car along with the evidence of the accident, which was on your car, and the police had absolutely every right to go and impound your car until you came in, which you did. Not that day, but 3 days later. The fact that you, according to you, lost a catering job, that's your fault. I believe the witness for the defendant that your car was not towed until much later in the day. And if I had a responsibility of catering a party, I would have hired 2 taxi cabs, said I have all the stuff ready, I'm taking the stuff over there, and I'll deal with this car at some other time. The thing that's most distressing to me is that you lied to me with regard to whether you and the defendant had had any prior negative dealings, and it is clear to me that you did. You were aware of the fact that the defendant had, in fact, called the police with regard to what he believed was domestic violence coming from your home.
I suspected it.
You suspected it. Well, your suspicions were well-founded, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Robinson, who came here today as your witness, was sufficiently concerned with the welfare of your wife to have had a discussion with you about what he perceived to be overbearing, let's use a nice word, overbearing behavior on your part with regard to your wife. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, that's fair.
I didn't say violent. I said overbearing. Put your hand down, sir. I mean, is there something really relevant?
I wrote a note to him on a neighborly basis saying, your child is going to suffer from what you're doing. Why don't you get anger management? And I put it in his mailbox.
Well, there's no question in my mind that he knew that the police complaint emanated from you. I believe that you probably have an anger problem, Mr. Patterson. You had an anger problem that day. Your wife is alone here in a foreign country. She has no family here. And that is a very, very unfortunate circumstance for somebody who is the wife of somebody who has an anger problem. And you do. You have a child, you have a son.
I do not have an anger problem.
Do you have a son, I asked you?
Yes, I have a son.
Sons emulate what they see. If you do not respect their mother and demonstrate that respect on an ongoing basis, you will raise an abuser. If that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it. Your lawsuit before me is dismissed. And, Bert, would you take Mrs. Patterson aside and ask her if she wants to have a discussion with me? I'd be more than happy to speak with her privately in the event that she wants to discuss anything with me privately, or any referrals that I might make for her. Thank you.
Judge. Parties are excused. You may step out.
I think that we will, in fact, have to get a restraining order against him. I suspect it would probably be appropriate for his wife to get one, but that's not for me to say.
They don't understand what kind of stress I go through. Yes, I'm an emotional person, because otherwise I wouldn't be a caterer.
The baby is traumatized if the mother is going through anguish and emotional problems.
There is not a problem going on here, and I resent the fact that my neighbors have the audacity to take my inventory when they don't.
No, all it says is that it's due on the 27th of each month.
The bank let us know that we had 20 days grace
You have
period.
to show me that in writing. This says the 27th.
Okay.
Okay? So now you're going to show me 2 years' worth of payments of $426.89.
Yes.
Can
I
have
paid
it, please?
$427 just because
It was easier.
89 cents. It was easier.
Okay.
I don't have every receipt because we
Don't-
were friends.
No.
And- Okay.
Every receipt you have to have.
Okay.
Why did you black out
I
these?
didn't do that. When you go, because I'm not Imran Hauer, the tellers will mark it out because they don't want me knowing the balance on the card. That's the big argument in this, is I've wanted to know for a long time what's going to principal, what's going to interest each time, and Imran hasn't kept up on his end of the deal by letting me know that
That's
by
not true.
calling the bank.
Just a second. I only have 12 receipts. You should have 23 receipts.
I don't have those because some of them are in the car that he came and took.
That's not true either.
I made every payment on that car.
But you only have proof of 1 year when you kept the car for 2 years, right?
Yes, but
Okay. Now,
you'll see
do you
in
have
that-
you have a payout from the credit union
Yes, I do, ma'am.
as to what payments were received and what payments were not received?
I have the payout as of 12/29 of this past year. That's the last one I got.
Let me see it.
It was made from since then.
Let me see it.
Here you go.
Because you repossessed the car immediately thereafter.
Yes.
Okay. How many payments does it say she missed on this thing?
Since December 99, she's made 11 late payments. And that our agreement was to be responsible as far as...
Well, I see the late charges.
Yes. Also, here's some here late notices, too, that would also...
Your Honor, I never received any of those, and I never knew that the payments were late that long,
That's
or
not
I would
true.
have never made the payments late that long.
That's not true, Your Honor. Countless times I phoned the plaintiff. She'd keep saying she made a payment, she made the payment. And then until I found out that this was going to go on my credit and was serious, then I started doing some investigation. And it has damaged my credit, which I also have proof of, too.
I never knew until he came and took my car on January, it was either the 16th or the 17th, I never knew that the payments were late until I went out to get in my car and it was gone. I have the police report showing that I called the police because my car was, obviously to me, it was stolen. I didn't know who had taken it.
Well, I have documentation here, madam. It says payments past due 2. That's on January 8th.
I was not aware of that. That's what I'm saying, is the payments had gotten behind one time. Imran had me call and pose as his secretary because he wanted me to tell the bank that he was out of the country so I could speak
That's
with a
not
lady
true.
named Nicole.
Just a minute.
And I have witnesses.
In July, you had payment past due.
That was the only time I was aware I was late.
You can't be
that
late.
was the only time
You can't
I
be
was
late.
aware.
You can't be late. You were aware. You were aware
I
because...
was not aware because I never received any paperwork on
You
that.
received phone calls from
I
me.
never
But don't yell at each other. You were aware of the fact, Miss Smith, that on the 27th of each month, they were to receive a check. I've just looked at some of the receipts that you sent. You pay on the 9th of the month. Now, those weren't early payments. Those were late payments. Paid on the 9th of October. You paid on the 13th of January. You paid on the 24th of October. That wasn't an early payment. That was almost a month late.
I was never aware it was a late because when we got behind in July, Your Honor, I had made payment arrangements, Imran and I, with the bank, and I took care of that. Now, if the bank's saying I'm late after I took care of the agreement we had with the bank, I was not aware of that.
Well, you should have been aware of it, madam. You made some of your payments almost a month late. You made none of them, except for maybe one, on time. One out of all of these payments. That's irresponsible.
We both knew that there was a 20-day grace period on the car.
That's the written documentation of your contract, which says it's due on that date. You have nothing to show me a 20 days grace period, but even if that's true, of the receipts that you gave me, many are made even beyond a 20-day grace period.
They're not made beyond the 20-day grace
Yes, they
period
are.
because
Yes,
I
they
don't
are.
have every one of the receipts there. What I'm
The
trying
ones
to say,
that you gave me, of the ones that you gave me, many are beyond even a 20-day grace period. Some of them are almost a month late.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
There is no reason for him to damage his credit by your making late payments on the car.
Your Honor, it wouldn't have been late. If I would have known, I would have found a way to get the money to make the payment. I wouldn't have let it go late. I need a car.
Your Honor,
I have
I've
no
told her
car.
repeatedly.
2 kids, no car.
Ms. Smith, you never made your payments on the 27th of the month. Now, if it's just your credit that you're concerned about, I can understand it. You know, if you say, I'm going to destroy my own credit, I can do that.
I never intentionally destroyed his credit.
It's
it wouldn't
not a
have
question
been.
of intentionally. You probably never intentionally destroyed your own credit.
How come he didn't let me know beforehand when my 3-year-old daughter went and spent the night at his house in November? He wanted me to go, me and my brother, go to Mammoth Mountain and go snowboarding with him. How come I didn't know then? We were friends.
I constantly told her she
We
was
were
late.
friends.
I gave her chances until I started going on my credit. I was trying to be the nice guy and help her out.
You had an agreement with him.
Well, what I'm trying to
And I don't know
explain
why you needed a car that was this expensive anyway if you had lousy
because
credit.
I was young and I wanted a nice car, and he agreed to help me get one.
We had a car beforehand, and Imran...
Just a second. Am I speaking to you? And you don't just shout out in a courtroom. That's not what you do. Are you her brother?
He's
No,
my
I'm
boyfriend.
her boyfriend.
Boyfriend. Okay. I assume if you have a boyfriend, and if your boyfriend is employed, then what he does is he says to you, I don't want you to have any further problems with this car. I will take out a loan and get it out of his name.
We had a 97 truck in his name that we sold back to the bank. We got rid of a car to make sure that we kept making the payments on the 99 Sebring.
If you have no money and you have no credit, you don't buy a $23,000 car.
Well,
You buy
the
a
verbal
car-
agreement...
You buy a car for $1,500 just to get you around. That's what you do.
He shouldn't have agreed. He even agreed to help me make the payments on every month, and he never did that, which I
No, I
didn't
didn't say
care
that.
because I made my payment. I have a witness stating that she can tell you that he did say that he would help me make the payments every month. He was acting as my stepfather. He told me on the phone the reason he took my car, he was upset because he saw my mom driving the car.
That's not the reason why.
This is what I got on the phone. We came back on the 14th. Imran had left the dirty, vulgar message
That's
on the
not true,
recorder.
Your Honor.
How come he didn't keep it up on his end of the bargain by letting me know what was going on? He waited all the way till January. If it's been late since July, wouldn't you keep up on your end of the bargain, you know, if your credit is going to be ruined?
Ms. Smith, I believe him when he says he told you that he was getting late notices. I believe it when he says to me that he let you know in July of 2000 that he had gotten a late notice.
He got the late notice, not me.
No, that he let you know that he got a late notice in July. Because anybody who's in a circumstance like his would do something like even mention to you, hey, listen, I got a late notice
No,
in
we
July.
never even spoke until,
I don't
again,
believe
until
it.
November.
Okay, let me hear your counterclaim, sir.
Okay, I have a car that I never should pay payments on if she kept her end of the bargain. She hasn't. She has damaged my credit. I'm already at a loss because.
So what do you want?
The difference of the value of the car, what it is today, versus what was owed on the loan.
You have the car.
Yeah, but now I owe $7,200 on the car because I can't return the car, or.
It's very possible, sir, so you have your choice. If you sell the car, and if there is a discrepancy between what is owed on the car, then perhaps you will have a cause of action against the plaintiff. Until that time, all you have is speculation.
Will 2 appraisals make a difference? I got
No,
appraised? It won't? Okay.
absolutely not, sir. I'm smarter than you are.
All right.
You got me? 2 appraisals mean absolutely nothing. What you do is you sell the car unless if the plaintiff, who you, I assume, had some kind feelings for a long time, wishes to, along with her boyfriend, refinance the car in their own names. Perhaps you'll be taken off the hook. Do you understand?
Yes, I have.
If they don't do that, you sell the car, and whatever the difference is, you may have a cause of action against the plaintiff. You got it?
Yes.
Now, you work?
No, not right now. I'm off because I injured my back at work.
Well, then I don't see how you can have a car if you're not
He's
working.
solely supporting me. Well,
If
when
he's
I
totally-
had the car...
If he's totally supporting you, then I'm strongly urge if he can afford to make payments on this car, take out a loan, you get your car back. Isn't that a good idea?
Yes, ma'am.
In your name.
I've tried to contact Imran since the
Well,
car's been taken
you don't
away.
want to lose any money, do you?
Of course not.
And if what you're telling me is that you will lose money if you sell this car, and your chances of collecting from her are zippo, since she's not employed, I would strongly urge you to work out an agreement with this lovely gentleman here so that he can get a car loan and he can pay off this note, right?
I've tried that.
Perfect.
We would have
Buy
got the
it.
loan in his name in the beginning, but his credit isn't good enough.
Well, then what do you want me to do? Your credit's no good and you have no job. You said his credit is no good, he has a job. What do you want him to do? Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He's jealous, and he's just...
That's the
He
bottom
saw
line.
her
is
mother
me.
driving the car. He still has feelings
And
for
he
her.
knows that.
He's a
He
childish
knows
man.
that. He's the one lying about it.
I feel sorry if you feel this way. It's not a personal matter. It's business.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Schmidt versus Hansen, step forward.
30-year-old warehouse worker Robert Schmidt is suing his ex-girlfriend, 28-year-old homemaker Tracy Hansen, for ruining his credit by failing to make payments on a car.
According to your complaint, you and the defendant were in a relationship several years ago, and while in that relationship, although not married, you were foolish enough, the two of you, to co-sign some loans for cars. When the relationship terminated, it was agreed that the defendant would take one of the cars and be solely responsible for the car payments.
Yes.
Everything went along just swimmingly. You, as a matter of fact, went into a new relationship, married,
Yes.
went to apply for a mortgage. And at that time, you were told that your credit was no good because of this car loan.
Yes.
Ultimately, you say you were forced to take back the car, you traded it in, paid off the loan, and you want the defendant to be responsible for that loan.
Yes.
When was this car purchased?
February '97.
When did you stop making the car payments?
It wasn't that I stopped.
Well, when did you begin to get late in your car payments?
I was always late.
Well, that's always a problem.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't think she ever anticipated that you would take back this car.
No, she did not.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Robert Schmidt says ex-girlfriend Tracy Hansen failed to make payments on a car. He's suing her for ruining his credit.
When did you find out that she was in default on the car?
I received the final letter that pushed me to go in and take care of the matter on August 25th.
Can I see the letter, please?
Yes. Numerous other phone calls left on my answer machine from GMAC regarding collection of the payments.
They say here that your account is in default for the July 15th, August 15th, 2000 installments.
The history of the loan, there was 11 times she was past 30 days late.
Okay, so what did you do, sir?
I first attempted to tell her that I was just going to come and we were going to voluntarily work it, sell the car. She denied me that opportunity.
What did she say?
Because she mailed the payment off. She had the check in the mail. She did a post-date check.
Okay, so she said she's not going to let you take the car
Yep.
and sell it.
Yep.
So you went and took the car while she was at work?
Yes.
Okay.
I took it to the dealer to have him appraise it, and she somehow came and got the car without my awareness. I went and had a local police department witness me go and retrieve the car again, and then I had put it in storage for the fear she would take it in again.
Okay, so you traded it in.
Yes.
What was the difference in what you got for the car and what you had to pay?
There was no equity in the car, so what the loan value minus what the dealer gave me $2,100 in equity above and beyond the payoff, which he valued the car trade-in value.
Listen to me, sir.
Okay.
What was left due and owing on the loan at the time that you took it?
$6,805.
Is that figure correct?
Yes.
What year car was this?
This is '97 Chevrolet Lumina, is the old car.
Do you know what the Blue Book value of the car is?
Retail $71.50, trade-in $53.75, and a loan from the bank would go $46.75.
Because you're suing her for $4,530.
Yes.
Well,
may I also add
Sure.
the reason why I traded the vehicle in, I did not have the financial situation to be able to take $1,800 loss to pay off the balance of the loan, because I would not be able to sell the vehicle out privately without paying the loan in full to transfer title. So
That may be.
That is why.
But I am attributing to you what the Blue Book says you would get on trade-in for this car, which is $5,375.
Okay.
Which leaves a balance due and owing of $1,430, not $4,300, because that wasn't your loss.
I'm still paying on the rest of that loan. What the loan for the 97 Lumina was not paid for rolled over onto my new vehicle.
That's fine. Well, you're driving the new vehicle. I mean, I didn't see the Blue Book, but I'm taking your word for it. How many miles were on the car?
93,000.
That's a lot of miles. Let's say you got $5,000 on a trade-in. That's $1,800.
The point that I just couldn't understand why she couldn't make the payments is because I am financially supporting my kids, $702 a month. I don't see how she, living in a trailer court, cannot make a car payment. I attempted to contact her regarding disposing of the vehicle and held her liable for half of what the owed.
Mr. Schmidt, I don't think that you did anything wrong. I think that she was totally irresponsible. I think that she didn't give a hoot about your credit. I don't think she ever anticipated that you would take back this car.
No, she did not.
Can you think of a reason why you were not responsible for this $1,800 deficit?
Because I had made arrangements with GMAC to pay it. I called them and told them that they're satisfied. I have arrangements. Check by phone.
Show me. Show me a letter from GMAC after August 25th when he received this letter.
That's the only letter I received also.
Well, then show me a letter from GMAC that says, we have resolved all issues. We are pleased to extend your credit and pleased to
No, because the next day he took it and I stopped payment on the checks. So they didn't mail me anything. They didn't have the chance to.
Madam, what I'm saying to you is if you have no proof that you had made arrangements to extend your time to pay the loan, I'm not interested.
Okay.
So you are responsible for the remainder of this money. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,800. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Yes, I traded the car in, but I am still paying for her portion of the loan that was balance due.
It's over. I don't want to deal with them besides with the children. Nothing else.
She just didn't want to pay for it, and I didn't have the finances to do so myself.
Pays child support and he wants money back from me.
Triple H.
Your entire bills were $5?
Well, I did go back again to the doctor in February, the beginning of February, because I had expected it to fade away or something. You know, I had been treating it with the ointment they had given me and everything, but it was still there. And basically, he was telling me that there was nothing he could do. So I'm assuming that I'm just going to be stuck with a permanent scar.
Mm-hmm. Were you there when this incident
no,
happened?
No, ma'am. I was not on the premises when the alleged accident happened.
Well, who was there?
Ms. Asaf is the supervisor.
Step up, please.
And Aisha was the student that performed the services.
Okay. One of my questions is when someone comes into a school to have work done, do they sign any sort of release?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I see the release that they sign? Because that would strike me as something that people would sign.
Excuse me, Your Honor?
Yes.
The release I signed was for a perm when I had a relaxer put on my hair.
Just a second. I'm reading. That was the first thing that struck me. I didn't see anything about a release there. Okay. This says that you understand that the Elegante Beauty College is a school which instructs students who wish to become beauticians, and that the operators who will perform the work upon me are students and not fully trained and licensed professionals. Because of their inexperience, there is a risk that I could be injured or sustain damage from the negligence or carelessness of such student in performing the work done upon me. Nevertheless, in consideration of a reduced charge I will pay for such services, I agree to assume the risk of any injury or damage that I may suffer because of such negligence or carelessness. And I agree to give up my right to make a claim against the student, the school, the instructor, or any school personnel. And you signed it, and it's dated November 3rd, 2000, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So?
I signed that when I received a relaxer, because I believe any time that there's chemicals put on the hair, that's when they have you sign that.
No, that's not what this says. That's not what this says at all. And one would not expect them to have you sign one each time you came in. You came in, according to you, 8 times, Ms. Martin. The most important thing here, whether it's a relaxer or using a hot iron or whatever it is They are telling you that their students are, quote, not fully trained and licensed professionals. And they go on to say that because of their inexperience, there is a risk that I could be injured or sustain damage from their negligence or carelessness. The situation didn't change from November until January. You still were going to the school. You still knew that you were dealing with students who weren't fully trained and that you had signed an agreement not to sue them, right?
Yes.
So?
But like I was saying, I had believed that I was signing it only because of the chemicals used.
You mean chemicals would be all right, hot irons are not? That's ridiculous.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Ilana Martin says a student at Giovanni Scavo's beauty school burned her face while straightening her hair. She's suing for $5,000.
You indicate in your answer the plaintiff was burned once before.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that true?
Yes.
When was that?
On December 23rd, she came in, and another student by the name of Heather did her because Aisha could not do her at that time.
Is that true?
That is true.
So Heather did your hair on December 23rd?
Yes.
Go ahead.
And Heather needed help from an instructor, and the instructor went for the finishing touches around the hairline, and you have to use a comb. She used the comb, which I have here.
What kind of comb? A regular comb?
It's a pressing comb.
It's a pressing comb.
This is what can get real close to the hairline. And the instructor, which has many years' experience, accidentally touched around her hairline and burned her. So that's when Miss McDonough, one of the instructors, came up, and she also applied an ointment. And then she said, well, because of your inconvenience, we're going to give you a free service so we can check the burn out and make sure that...
So you gave her a free service?
We gave her about 6 free services, as I recall, Your Honor.
Were you burned once before there on the 23rd of December?
Yes, I was. But because they had agreed to compensate me for my troubles, then I, didn't think it to press on about it.
In exchange for being burned, you agreed to accept some free services.
Right. But the thing, if you don't mind, when she burned me, it was, I'm talking about Miss Neal this time, it was on the hairline. I mean, this other burn, by Aisha, that's nowhere near my hairline.
Of course it isn't near your hairline. But Miss Martin, according to your statement to me, what you did at that point was say, I want a free facial. And then they said no. And then you decided to sue them for $5,000. You went back for a similar kind of treatment to the same place where you were hurt less than a month later. Just not smart. I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't let somebody who had burned me once do it again. In any event, you released the school from any claims of liability arising out of any treatment that you received while at the school because Aisha is not a licensed beautician. She's a student in training. You were told that she could hurt you. She did, in fact, hurt you. You agreed to accept that possibility in exchange for the reduced charge that you were paying at the school rather than going to a beauty salon. So unless you can establish to my satisfaction that there was something other than negligence here, you have no case. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good. I mean, she didn't do it purposely, did she?
Well, I don't know what was in her head, so I can't.
Well, I can guarantee you that she didn't burn you purposely. That's all. Case is over.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Right after I burned her, she screamed immediately and called one of my instructors. She made a big scene about it.
Basically, just go to a regular salon.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Hart versus Hart. Step forward, please.
63-year-old salesperson Carol Hart is suing her granddaughter, 23-year-old Krista Hart, for a down payment on a condo, a loan for bail, and the cost to repossess a vehicle.
Mrs. Hart, the defendant is your granddaughter.
Yes.
And your claim has several pieces to it.
That's right.
One involves a car that you purchased for your granddaughter. She was supposed to make all the payments, pay the insurance. She didn't do that. You repossessed the car. You want the cost of the repossession of the car. That's the first part of the case. Then you say that you gave both your granddaughter and your grandson, her brother, the down payment for a condo. And the idea was that they were supposed to act appropriately, responsibly with the condo so that they could use that condo at some point to sell, and each of them could have their own place, but they would have a little bit of money because you have a child.
That's correct.
After they moved in, you made a gift to them of the money.
That's true.
Then you say you took that back because your grandson got a girl pregnant, and they didn't do what you had intended to do with this condo, so you want the down payment back. The third thing is her brother was in jail. She called you and said, I need $500 to bail him out of jail. You made her a loan of the $500.
$300.
Okay, $300 for bail for your grandson.
Right.
And he got out of jail, and she says, get it from him. So it's those three things: the car, the condo loan, and the bail money. How much are you seeking from her for the amount that you had to spend to repossess the car?
$77 is all.
Well, that's
I know.
nonsense, and that happened almost a year ago, right?
Well, just a year ago, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's $77.
I gave her
is
plenty
nonsense.
of time to pay it back. I just put in her
Forget
gas
it.
tank.
All right, let's forget the car from a year ago, $77. All right, Miss Hart, let's get to the condo. How much did you loan her for the condo?
Each of them $3,000, total of $6,000.
Okay, so she put $3,000 in on the condo.
Right.
And when was that?
That was in 98. That would be September of 98.
And at what point, Mrs. Hart, did you say to them, now the condo is yours, it's a gift?
They moved in on Halloween, and that was at Christmas that we said that.
So you don't have to pay us back the money?
Right.
Okay. Christmas of 98, you forgave the loan.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, then, but there was the understanding that they would use that either, as you said, for each of them to go their separate ways and for a house or to go for a bigger one together. Then her brother, after that, got somebody pregnant, and he wound up moving her and her child and the new baby into the condo, which was too small. There was 6 people, counting Krista and her son. I'm sure it was difficult. The girl doesn't speak English. It was a small, cramped place, and I'm sure it was really hard. But I think it was in January that Krista just blew it one night, and she called me all night long, waking me up, throwing them out, having a fit. Now, she got very mad at me for not coming over there and doing something.
I haven't heard anything about this loan that was forgiven in Christmas time.
Well, it was still owed. They were still in the condo, all of them.
Of course, I understand that.
But
So-
then this was in January, she threw them out.
Who threw who out?
She tried to throw him out, and she just left the next day.
Okay, so who's living in the place now?
Nobody. They sold it. That's the point.
Okay. So they
and
sold
it. The money was not used for the purpose intended.
Just a
Neither
second.
of them worked
Yeah,
for a while.
Just a second. How much did you get from the sale of the condo?
Round figure, my portion would have been somewhere close to $4,000, I want to say.
Did you get that money?
Yes, I did, but
Good.
I should also mention that it wasn't sold. The sale was not final until April. The 4 previous months, from January when I moved out until April, my brother, I told him since I was not there, would be responsible for the mortgage payment, which he told me he was.
And he didn't pay?
He did not. So I used my portion of the money
Sale.
that we got from the sale to pay off the mortgage, the telephone bill, which was in my name, the gas bill. He hadn't paid
The
any
stuff
bills.
that was in your name, but your brother
Everything.
had to pay. Your brother had to pay part of it out of his portion of the sale as well.
He
From the mortgage. I'm just talking the mortgage, not the bills.
yeah, the mortgage, yes.
Yes, of course, because they took that right off the top.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course they did. You didn't say, well, let her pay, and the bank said, okay. They
No,
took
no.
that right off the top. So
Yes, they
how much did you clear after both you and your brother paid off the mortgage?
I don't know, probably close to, $2,500, $3,000. I can't remember the exact
And what
number.
did you do with the money?
That was the telephone bill, the electric bill, the gas bill, the association due. Oh, no, that was paid through the close of escrow also. My brother's car payment, he was delinquent on his car payment. He couldn't get to work.
Come on, Miss Hart. I mean, I'm not stupid. If your brother's not paying any of those bills, then why in the world would you pay his car payment if he's getting $3,000?
Well, because he blew his money on God knows what.
No, you didn't. You didn't pay his car payment. I don't believe that you're that stupid. I really don't. That doesn't mean that your grandmother's entitled to her money back. You can't make a gift back into a loan. You cannot say, now I want the money back because it was not used for what I intended it to be used for. Now I want it back. You cannot do that, Miss Hart. Now let's get to the bail. Did you agree to give your grandmother back money for the bail?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
So why didn't you give it back to her?
My brother had told me that he had taken care of it.
Your brother is a liar. I mean, if I believe you, then your brother is a low-life, pun scum liar.
He was for a while. Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes.
Your grandmother tells you that she has not received the bail money back.
Oh, I didn't find out about that until she mailed me a letter, I want to say like maybe a month later, because he had told me that everything was cleared, and we weren't exactly on speaking terms at the time, so I was not aware of the fact that it was not paid back until
But
about a
now
month
you
later.
know. Mrs. Hart, your granddaughter owes you $300 that she borrowed in order to get her low-life brother out of jail. If half of what you tell me is true, either you're the best sister in the world, the dumbest, or the biggest liar. I'm not sure which one. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. $300, excuse me, that's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She called me when the papers were served on her and said, this isn't about the money. And I said, no, it's not. It's about your total lack of consideration and your disrespect.
I think she is.
You did say that.
Correct. I don't deny owing him the money, but when I went over to...
Well, you denied it today. What is this month's rent you're suing her for?
Karen, in November, almost died from drinking. April 1st, I went to the bar. She was drinking, and she got mad at me because I gave Don another $60 that we owed him on the van. She started yelling at me, screaming at me. She just lost control. And then she went and spent the night at her ex-boyfriend's house. I did not kick her out. She chose to go live with this other guy.
Had you moved into this apartment together, sir?
No.
You're going to continue to pay the rent and live there because you want to stay there.
Yes.
Okay. Now let me hear about your counterclaim.
I went to pick up some clothing, and he said that he threw outside. And on there was a note that said, it was my old marriage license. It was a bad word that we don't want to say. And then I looked at the clothing when I got back to the house, and it was either bleached or it was cut up, and then there was jewelry that was ran over.
Did you?
Ma'am?
Yes.
No, ma'am, I did not. If you look on tab 6, in her testimony, she says Lakewood police came with her, and they saw that the clothes were torn up, but did not make a report. They didn't make a report because it didn't happen. Her clothes were fine.
You have the clothes with you?
Yes, I do.
Let me see them.
They were fine when I set them out there.
No, I'm sorry.
That's why Lakewood police did not make a report over it.
What's this jewelry box that you have here?
He had pulled into the parking lot where I work and proceeded to get out, and then he backed up and left. That was the remainder of what was left in the parking lot after he had left.
That's untrue, Your Honor. She had Lakewood police come question me that day, and she told them I was on videotape in the parking lot, and I was not on it when they went and reviewed the tape.
You know about that?
It's a revolving tape. It doesn't actually...
Whatever. Was he on the tape?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Take these old clothes.
This is what was on the clothing when he left.
I did not write that on there, Your Honor.
Whatever. Even if you did, that clothing that's in that box is not worth very much. Certainly not worth $1,000 that you're suing for.
Yeah.
Trust me. Do you claim that he also has jewelry that belongs to you?
Yes, I do.
What jewelry?
It was a teardrop earring that he will not give me back because of this suit that we have going on.
The only thing I have of hers is a VCR and some dishes that I kept until she paid me the money.
What about this piece of jewelry? Where did you leave that?
That was left in a jewelry box, along with 2 rings that I just bought him.
Well, how did you get your clothes? Basic clothes.
That's it.
You never got any other clothes that were there? I mean, that's all the clothes
No,
that you...
that's all I have.
Yep.
He's got the rest of his house.
Is this the only thing that you put on the porch, this little box?
No.
It's not?
No.
You must have had lots of clothes. You have
Right.
coats, you have jackets.
Right.
Right?
I put everything.
Well, where's the rest of that stuff?
All I got, this is a basket. That is all I got.
I put all of her clothes on the porch. I put her son's clothes on the porch.
No, you didn't.
A few things.
Just
of
a
her...
minute. Miss Fritz, I cannot believe that you did not get back son's clothes, son's things, underwear. I don't believe that. I don't believe it for a minute.
Can I say something?
Sure. Who are you?
Don Thomas. I'm the one who sold him the minivan.
Yes.
There's also a $240 balance on the minivan that I've never received.
Sure.
I was hoping the rings were worth more than $240. That way I could get my money.
Why?
Maybe she could
Where are
give
the
me
rings?
her rings.
Where are the rings?
I don't know. Maybe she could give them to me so I can get the rest of my money for my minivan.
This is not one-stop shopping. If you feel as if she still owes you money for a van, you have to go to court, as he did, and file a complaint. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Your rent, you'll take care of. But you are owed $460. As far as your counterclaim is concerned, I do not believe that those items were the only items you retrieved from the plaintiff's home.
I have a copy of the police report that was written from that day that was here.
Sure, I'll take a look at it.
And I had 2 witnesses to verify that that's all that I had.
So where are they?
The kids.
Where are they?
They
Where are your
couldn't come
witnesses?
today. So I brought the one that saw the jewelry being run over in the parking lot.
Well, you reported this to the police a week and a half after you allegedly picked up your clothes. Your current boyfriend said somebody threw a paintball at his car and he saw a red convertible. And you told the police that some time ago you found that some of the articles had been cut up. So you did not report this to the police at the time you allegedly found it. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. If somebody cut up all my clothes, did not return my clothes, I would have been on the phone that day. We understand each other?
Yes.
Good. Now, step up. You want to tell me about what you saw about jewelry?
I saw a red convertible pull into the parking lot. It stopped, backed up, pulled forward again, pulled out of the lot, and went west.
Mm-hmm.
About 10 minutes later, a patron came into the bar, said, I found this jewelry. I went out to the parking lot and spent approximately 2 hours picking up jewelry that was scattered across the parking lot.
Did you ever drop jewelry off at the parking lot?
No, ma'am.
What kind of car do you
That's
drive?
A red convertible.
Uh-huh.
But everybody's seen it up there. If I was doing that, ma'am, I would be on the videotape.
Maybe there's a good reason that you both have restraining orders. This jewelry here isn't worth $1,000.
Well,
I let my
it's
grandchildren
sentimental
play.
value,
I
Your
let my grandchildren play with this stuff. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $460. Ms. Fritz, I do not believe that you have any other items in his house other than your VCR and your dishes, neither of which you're suing for. Do you want them?
Yes, I do.
Good. Within 5 days, we'll make an arrangement to go and pick up with a police officer VCR and your dishes. The dishes are to be in one piece, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
VCR, too. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
The only thing I gotta say is when you lie in court, you get caught.
He'd think I'd come crawling back to him, that he still wants me, but can't have me.
I've always taken care of her, and she never wants to pay anything back or take any responsibilities.
At least now he's out of my life.
I wasn't gonna watch her die from drinking.